Live from Las Vegas, welcome to the grand finale here in the Galaverse. And now please welcome your host, Max Bretos.
All right. I'm going to miss this place. Everyone was here last night. For those joining us at home on the live stream, this place I'll put it this way. If there was a science fiction movie of what the Coachella Music Festival might look like in the year 3000, this was it. World-class DJs. It was unbelievable. Snoop Dogg, Steve Aoki, it was off the charts. But we'll get into all of that. You'll see what happened over the last few days here. I'll do the proper introductions. My name is Max Bretos, and you are in the Galaverse. So you may ask yourself, thank you very much, what is the Galaverse? Well, it's you. The Galaverse started with a question. How do you give the gamers who invest their blood, sweat, and tears into the games they play a stake in the worlds that they create? When they build in Townstar, explore in Mirandas, or compete in spider tanks, their time and effort matters and can make a difference in their day-to-day. The Galaverse started as an idea. Today, it's an ever-changing, growing world. One which brings together a collaboration of the very best developers, designers, artists, and you. This is just the beginning. And over the next few hours, we will show you how Gala will shape the future. Live from the Galaverse. I'm getting a little goosebumps again after watching that. And I know there's a lot to unpack, and we will be doing that here over the next few hours. Breakfast at the Galaverse, Chicken Challenge Cup Day. What is that? Well, over the last few days, I'm a sports guy. And you can build an arena. But once you have the competition flowing, then it's official. And we had great competition over this weekend, and we have a final to look forward to. It's not a one-man job by any means. Well accompanied, my partner inside the Spider Tanks Arena, Katie Bedford. Katie, how's it going?
Max, it's incredible. Everyone in the arena with me. We have a final today for Spider Tanks. Let's get so excited. We have had incredible competition starting on Saturday and leading us to here. But before I get ahead of myself, guys, let's talk a little bit about what Spider Tanks is. Let's go ahead and pull up that video produced by Game Media and Gala Games, coming to you very soon. Spider Tanks is a PvP arena brawler where you have to outsmart outplay and outblast your opponents to victory. Whether you're using the executioner behind me or one of the many builds to play through the maps and modes of this game, it is high octane, it is fast paced, and it is a ton of fun. Whether you have 10 minutes in a break or you have hours to sit down and play spider tanks, you will not miss a beat. It's a game that's for everyone, it's a game that's on PC, and it's a game that is played to earn so that you can truly invest in your gameplay in a way that you never have before. And what's more than that, it's going to be the first ever NFT esports game. That's exactly what Matt said with the Chicken Challenge Cup. We got through our quarters, we got through our semis, and now in just a little bit, we will get into our finals. So Max, it's time to send it back over to you for even more action here at the Galaverse.
Thank you, Katie. Has everyone played some spider tanks? How much fun is that? What's your go-to body? You like the shark? Scout? Good, very choice. Titan if you want a little bit. Thanks a lot, Katie. We'll be joining you here very shortly. You've probably seen our next guest here floating around the Aria. By the way, if I was the Aria, I'd tell them to keep this here. I know that's not possible, but man, this would be the hottest club in Las Vegas. Sarah Buxton. Bucks, who has been everywhere. You've seen her with her, is it a helmet? It's glorious in all her glory. We have the heavy hitters in the developing game, the biggest names in gaming. Will Wright joined us here, and Sarah had a chance to explore the Galaverse with Will.
Thank you, Max. That's amazing. Hey guys, I'm Sarah, the Buxton. It's lovely to be with you in the Galaverse. Behind me is Echoes of Empire. It is absolutely epic. I don't think you can quite fathom how wonderful these worlds that we've built are, but I hope that we can bring them to life for you through the games that you're going to play. In total at Galaverse, there were 5 different worlds, each one bringing new experiences and immersive ideas to life. And that's kind of what Gala Games is all about. We're not a blockchain project. We're a gaming company that happens to build games on the blockchain. And we believe that these games can help change the world through play to earn. And we've got some really good friends that are here to help us. And right now, I'm going to take you to meet one of them. And you might know some of his previous titles, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is Will Wright. Hello, Will.
Hello. Good to be here. Yeah. Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to have you in the Tavern. What do you think of it? What do you think of the Galaverse so far?
Oh, it blows me away. You know, I want my house to be decorated like this.
Why should they know who you are, Will? Let's start there.
Simulation games, mostly. The Sims, SimCity, Spore, that kind of stuff.
Nice. And you're in mirandas.
I'm somewhere strange, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, hiding from the zombies, I guess.
Yeah, shh, don't talk about the zombies. They might come.
Yeah,
they might find us from the other world. So, Gala Games, why have you come to play? And what are you playing on?
My company, Gallium, we're very interested in kind of player creativity and having players create assets and then bring them into cool new experiences. And it seems like Gala's doing that with Vox and Vox World already. You know, and the world is changing very quickly in the games area, the game space. Players more and more are being recognized for the contribution the communities make to games, the creators make to games. I think the whole blockchain thing, you know, I view it as technology, and there's like collectible aspects to it, NFTs and things like that, but what really interests me is the idea that the creators of these experiences get credit for their creations. And the value they bring to a game, they can actually participate in the value that they're probably, bringing over half the value to most of our game experiences right now. And I like the idea that we can track that and give them credit for it.
I love that too. So we should probably work together on that basis.
Yeah,
yeah, we should. Tell me a bit about how you view blockchain and gaming, because I think there's still some people out there that think that games don't belong on the blockchain.
Well, I mean, blockchain is just a technology, I remember back when people said, there shouldn't be video in games, there shouldn't be this in games, 3D, was too slow, Each one of these technologies finds its place, adds value to what a designer like myself can do, so for me it's a tool and allows greater design freedom, especially as we're not just designing games, but we're designing communities. And these communities are helping us create the game through their creativity.
What is it about Vox that kind of pulled you into Gala, and that being the project that we're working on together? What was it about that specifically?
Well, I think the ownership that people have of these Voxes, and then it's an open field in terms of what you do in their world, and you can imagine a lot of different experiences. Almost, is that a platform where these Voxes can go here, do that, but they can also carry experience with them from one game to another. They can be tradable, they can have memory, they can be upgraded, accessories can come along with them. There's so many things you could do in so many different kind of entertainment experiences. They could end up being storytellers, making little movies for you, whatever.
You're creating a nightmare for us, do you know that?
Yes.
Everyone's writing this down, like they're going to do this and this and this. So the developers are going to really enjoy working with you on this.
Yeah, I tend to drive programmers crazy.
What are you most excited about, apart from Vox? What else are you, just in general, about where gaming is going and the future of
Well, I think the two
creativity?
things that are kind of interesting me the most right now and seem to be the most biggest catalysts for game advancement have to do with, the player ownership around blockchain, and secondly, AI. The AI technologies are advancing so rapidly right now, and there's some amazing things that you can do with that. And so I'm looking at kind of the intersection of those two things.
And I think you brought some friends to play at the Galaverse, didn't you? Do you have a couple of people that maybe we should go and get a drink in a different world and go and meet up with them as well? What do you
That
think?
sounds good. I'm going to leave this
You're
here,
going to have
though.
to leave the loop.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want to scare them off.
So this is exciting. We are setting up for another concert in Townstar, and I think you might like Townstar, because aren't you from Texas, or have you lived in Texas?
No, Louisiana, ma'am.
Ah, close.
Deep South.
I'm British, forgive me.
Pretty darn close there.
We've got a friend here as well. You might know this person.
Who is
Will.
this?
Hello. We're going to swap over.
Welcome.
I don't know if I want to give up my cloak. I'm quite enjoying it. It doesn't really go in the Townstar world,
I'm
though.
jealous. I'm very jealous.
We're going to get you one, Lauren. We're not going to leave you out.
Okay, good.
So are you having fun?
I'm having a great time. It is fun down here.
And what do you think about the Galaverse so far? Loaded question alert. Don't
It's
say you don't
wonderful.
like it, because I'll be sad.
No, it's wonderful. You've done an incredible job. The whole team down here is incredible. We've been welcomed easily and nicely, and it's a great adventure. So I'm glad to be part of it, and I'm sure it will.
Disneyland for adults.
Yeah.
Well, that's what gaming's all about, isn't
gamers.
it?
Right.
Creativity and imagination. And you're a power pair, right? You can work with anyone you want. Why on earth have you come to play with
Lauren
us?
was actually my first producer on my very first game. We've known
That's
each other since 1983,
Yeah,
82,
something
something
like
like that.
Yeah.
Forever.
Back in the day.
And you still
yeah.
talk like each other?
Yeah, we still talk.
We still
I
talk.
haven't seen you argue yet, actually.
Well,
No.
we stopped the knife fights.
Yeah, we
you know.
do. No, but we've had a good time, and we only deal with British people, so.
Winning!
So we-
Make a note, everybody.
No, you and I've had great conversations about the collaboration. So I think we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun with you guys. You've got a great team behind the Vox. The Vox team itself is a great team, and you've got a great history of what you're doing, and it can't be in a better space. So it works very well with Will and I, and the company of fitting in. So
Yeah,
we're looking
it's a good
forward to
fit.
it. Where's a good fit?
I have
So-
to get some inside information. What are Will's bad habits? What drives you crazy about Will?
I think sticking to a single idea is probably. He and I grew up together in the industry, and he's one of the few people in the early days of the industry who decided he was going to stay with design because he's got a curious mind about more things than you can possibly imagine, and he stuck with that. I mean, he's always interested in the world and how it functions and every aspect of it. So that's what Will does. And the rest of us kind of got into the business end of things and started companies and everything else. And Will has been able to do that. He's in it for the idea and the fun and the creativity.
Well, the
And
ideas
that's
are the
pleasure.
easy part, though. Getting a team that can actually build that stuff. Because this stuff takes dedication. You think you're 90% done with a project, but in fact you're halfway done.
Right.
And until you've shipped a few products, you don't realize that. And so you have to have really dedicated people with experience and know how to ship product to take all these crazy, weird ideas and actually make it into something.
After all these years that and you've done some of the biggest titles that the world has seen in gaming, do you still genuinely really love it?
Lauren and I, neither one of us needs to be doing this at all.
So you're just doing it because you love it?
Yeah, obviously.
No, you put a cape on Will and he's there.
It's the hood. We need to get Lauren a cape. I'm going to give you my cape, Lauren.
No.
Thank you, guys. It's an absolute pleasure to have both of you here, and I hope you enjoy the Galaverse as much as I'm enjoying it. And Max, it's probably back to you wherever you are. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah. How good was that walk and talk? And by the way, all those worlds you saw within a few hundred feet of each other. And I cannot stress how much imagination is under this roof, or has been over the last few days. What a place to be. And those capes, by the way, very, very nice. They'll be very good collector items, so hang on to them. As we are getting ready, I can feel the buzz at the Spider Tank Arena just over yonder. We're getting ready for the final. I can tell you the competitors are locked in because they've made it this far and they don't want to clip the final hurdle on the way to the Chicken Challenge Cup. Let's check back in with Katie as we prepare for the final. Let's find out exactly how we got here.
Max, thank you. The crowd is excited. They're ready to go. I love this energy, guys. It's early in the morning, and I needed that to wake myself up. And exactly, Max, you said it right. How did we get here? We talked about the fact that it's an arena brawler, guys, but what does that mean? Let's pull up some videos so you can get a taste of exactly what to expect when you are playing Spider Tanks. Guys, this is how it starts, right? You begin in a garage where, before you get to all this craziness, you pick the body. Do you want to be a shark? Do you want to be a chicken? Maybe a crab? Maybe you want to be Flea, a jack-o'-lantern even. And then after that, you pick your primary weapon. Are you like me? Do you like to stay in the back with a repair artillery and support your front line? Or do you want to be right up in the action with a flamethrower? On top of that, you pick some abilities, a speed boost. Maybe you even want to be an invisible with that cloaking device. You bring all of that back together into an incredible, unique build that is yours and yours alone to couple with your teammates and be able to take on the arenas in Spider Tanks, which is exactly what we will see in just a little bit with the Chicken Challenge Cup. Max, I can't wait. The energy in the Spider Tanks arena is electric, and I know it's electric up in the Galaverse as well.
It's electric everywhere. Thank you, Katie. I can't wait, because you know what? There'll be more Chicken Challenge Cups, but you can only win it the first time once, so there's a lot at stake. Spider Tank's one of the many worlds that we have here inside the Galaverse. Town Star's another, and many people have already started playing that and have played to earn and done so much in creating that world. Our ace reporter, Nick Webster, had a chance to sit down with Elliott Cannon, the director for Town Star. Here's a listen.
Thanks, Max, and welcome into the Galaverse library. I'm with Elliott Cannon, game director for Townstar. Welcome.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for having me.
So, did you always know that you wanted to be a game designer?
You know, actually, I did. I'm a little kid that grew up in 1977 when Dungeons & Dragons came out, and back then the only game designers were Gary Gygax and Mark Miller, but I knew I wanted to be like them, and it just changed so much over my whole career, from pen and paper role-playing games to video games to now, you know, blockchain games. It's amazing. I love it. Yeah.
So what was the process when you're a young kid and you're getting into this designing? You know, where were you going? Where's your brain?
You know, creating a world was the first thing. Creating a place for other people, like the neighborhood dungeon master is making adventure for all his friends, and that turned into going into architecture. You're designing buildings for other people, and then we start doing games. It's the same thing. You're designing for millions of people that you'll never meet.
What was the first game you ever designed?
You know, Unreal is where my whole career kicked off. I designed so many levels in that game, everything from Mayan temples to ancient castles and all kinds of places, science fiction, starships.
And where do you get the ideas for your games? I mean, you've got this blank piece of paper, and all of a sudden you're creating these fantastical worlds.
Yeah, sometimes being a visual thinker could be a curse because your imagination is going all over the place. I mean, you think about novels you read as a little kid, like, I don't know, Michael Moorcock's Elric and Melbourne, or the film you watched, like Braveheart, or things like that. All those things mixed together, lyrics to songs. But they're just seeds, and what you think of, you're going to design something, and you're thinking about what would be really great for this part of this game, or this section of this game, or the storyline element. You think about what's going to be for them on the other side. What will make them excited, or really surprised, or really into it.
So we're in Las Vegas, sensory overload. I mean, you must be walking around and your brain must be exploding with ideas for perhaps new games.
You know, it's funny because all the lights and stuff doesn't make me go, make a game that has that in it. It makes me think of Blade Runner, but it doesn't make you think about designing a new game. It's the people that make you think about doing something.
What drew you to blockchain gaming?
You know, I've done AAA games, first-person shooters, cooperative shooters, massive multiplayer games, from Germany to Budapest, to Canada, even in China. And when you do that so many times over and over again, they start to become a little formulaic. It's still fun, But it's like writing the same mystery novel over and over and over with better graphics every few years, right? But when Michael McCarthy talked to me about what Eric and these guys were doing at Gala Games, I was like, that sounds really compelling because it's going to change everything about the way games work, the way people buy them, the way people interact with them. And I think that's the key to being really engaged as a creative entity is like, someone says you can't do it, but there's going to be a way you can figure it out. And then people are like, wow, I didn't know you could do this. And I really love it.
Is that the challenge you like when someone says,
Yes.
you can't do this?
Yes, absolutely.
What's your immediate response? I mean, in your soul, what happens when you can't do that?
You saw my face light up as soon as you said that, right? I mean, that's really it is. Like okay, I'm a big UFC fan, right? And when Conor wants to fight someone, whether he win or lose, he's going to go after him, right? If you know those kind of fighters, he's driven by the fight. For me, it's driven by the experience with somebody else. The can't do it part is like, oh, we can do it. Because there's a team of people, we can work together, we come up ideas, a riff of ideas together, and I try to wrangle all that stuff together like an author, an editor, an architect, and make it come alive. So that challenge of solving anything, like we're doing right now with Townstar, well, we're pioneering this industry with Townstar. I mean, all the other games are going to be on our platform, are going to take all the notes from what we did and advance them to another level. So to me, that's really what makes this whole thing kind of tick for me creatively. This is not an easy thing that we're doing.
What separates blockchain games from other game platforms?
Oh gosh, there's so many things, but at its heart and soul, they're still the same thing. You're still a game experience for someone else to play of all different types, whether it's going to be like Mirandas, this fantastical MMO universe that's never been built before. Other designers have tried to make fantastical universes like that too. In Townstar, it's this farming, city builder, economic kind of game. Most of it's in your head, very simple kind of graphics. You're trying to build this town up over time. It's a challenge. Unlike some games where you have to, every moment you're trying to manipulate something and respond to a new threat, some games are real tactile. Townstar is much more up in your head. Once you get going, you get past all the knowledge, learning, how do I get this going? How do I not mess up and fail and run out of gas in the first 25 minutes? That's what its big appeal is.
What was the seed of Townstar?
You know, Townstar, Mike first designed Townstar, there was a mobile game, and when they launched this company, they converted it over to be their first blockchain game, which to me is pretty impressive because it's not very, you would never do that normally. You wouldn't normally take a game from another genre and just bolt it into a blockchain, but this is an unexplored space. And the ideas behind the game that Mike came up with have this element to it that resonate with someone, and it doesn't matter what the platform really is. So I think it's really ideal for this kind of a game platform. As a blockchain game, it allows people to come in and purchase NFTs, have tremendous value and power on the board that can change what you do from every few minutes to an hour. I mean, this is going to change everything. So blending all the magic of games in the blockchain space, the way Eric and Mike and everyone's put this thing together, it's the way Eric set the company up. Now, he set the themes and the tone for what he wanted. He's supported by a really strong C-level group of people. Because that all permeated down in a super genuine, honest way, it's not corporate America, you can just feel it. When people join this company, the first thing they say, I'm really happy to be here. They actually really mean it. They're not just saying it. They put on the spot on a Zoom call, tell us what you like. You know, the tone of everything we do. It's really kind of a community, because if we're going to change the blockchain space or change the world, we have to actually believe in it. It can't be fake belief. And we all know what it's like when you have to do a job sometime. You got to put forth your best effort. If you don't really believe in something, it's not going to be your best. And every person in our team and our company is a believer, that's for sure. This is going to change every single thing that we ever do in the internet. It's just going to permeate across the line everywhere. The ownership, the way for someone to change their life. And there's gamers who's like, well, I'd never be able to earn playing a game before. Mom would yell at you for playing games all night long. Now you can come play this game and pay for college, go to medical school, without having to play 400 hours a week or something like that.
Tell me about the NFT component and how that works.
Well, if you buy NFTs from us in Gala or in TownCoin, you can put them on the map and they have functions. And you solve challenges every day, and we're going to change over time and make them more complicated. But as you solve challenges, you earn a certain amount of cryptocurrency based on how well you did, or did you do it on a daily basis and things like that. The NFTs are really interesting because they have different levels of power to very, very tremendously powerful. And remember, you own that.
Dive into that ownership element. It's obviously there's not a physical thing you can feel. So how does that work?
It has value. It's really more about having someone have ownership over what they play, what they use, what they can do in the whole ecosystem, and know they can move it around based upon their interests or what they want to do. They don't feel like they have to play a certain way or they won't succeed. It's not really like that. That's what separates this crypto blockchain, I think, away from traditional AAA games or console games. They're all really great. There's nothing wrong with these things. They're fun games. Is the ownership, the sense of community. Everyone feels this surge of something's about to really big and blow open and change the whole world. And this is just the first step.
Talk to me about that sense of community. I mean, what does it mean to you?
What it means to me is I was blown away by it when I came on board. I mean, I joined early this year around May, and when I met Jason Brink and Carrie and all the people that work in the Discord community and all the things they do, I'd never seen such a vocal, yet passionate, intelligent, smart community of people from all walks of life, all into the crypto space, all into blockchain.
As a creative designer, what are the core principles?
You know, it's really about the player. Everyone needs to have a way to get something out of the game. So that's the hard part about it. So if they can be entertained in an environment where they have a lot of freedom to make all their choices, and you've thought of every possible way they can maybe thematically go down this way or get something out of it this way, usually you have them come and say, you know, that was really fun, and that's all you get. And that's the thing about that I really like, that one sentence, that was really fun.
So for you, it doesn't even feel like work then?
No, no, not at all. No, I mean, you live, breathe, you're thinking about it constantly. There's spiral notebooks full of millions of sketches. You know, Slack is on the phone. You sleep 4 or 5 hours or so, and then you go back to it again, and you want to. That's what makes it very different.
Townstar is always evolving. Where's the future?
Oh goodness, there's so much we can do, and there's so much already coming and planned. We have a number of pillars. You know, you do this in the game industry. You have these pillars for your game. One's a lot more economic stuff. A lot of variation in the trade in the whole world. Right now, when you're playing the game, it's very consistent. Like, you get this many stars or doing this, you can kind of figure it out. Now it's going to be more variable. You got to watch it, see what's going to be hot to trot, what's not later. Another element is a lot more biomes and content and things to grow. And there's a big social element we want to add as well. So people can work together, start doing large, megalo corporations together and start doing stuff like that. And the last one, we want to add a lot of progression elements. And for someone who's come into the crypto blockchain space from that collector mentality or trying to get in on the whole ecosystem and want to get with Gala, what's Gala doing now that's really neat in Townstar, I'm talking about things that are going to make this game much more fun and appealing and long-lasting to everyone. So it's great to be on the front battle lines of setting the stage for the quilt that's going to be all of the Gala Games. Yeah.
Could you give the people at home any hacks?
Play with your friends. I mean, there's a big social element we're going to be adding next year that we want to focus a lot on that, and having friends that know how to play, where the two of you can work together, maybe have different locations working together to sell something at the same time, communicating with friends. That's something we want to tap into. There's a whole, I was talking with Eric and John the other day, and we were saying, wow, we really need to add a lot more of these guild-oriented or group-oriented elements where people can work together and maybe even compete against another group in a way, on maybe a server that people want to do that. So the possibilities are really crazy. It's almost endless. And it's really not that complex of a game. I mean, you can pick up and play it right now. You probably figure out in 5 minutes how to play. So it's really fun.
You hear that, Max? Takes 5 minutes to learn how to play Townstar. Elliott Cannon, thank you so much for coming to the Galaverse library. Back to you, Max, in the Galaverse.
Thank you, Nick. All right. Something that Elliott touched on about the difference that playing Townstar has made for a lot of people. Stick around a little bit later. We're going to show you evidence of that. It's going to blow your mind. Just like the Galaverse. You know, I got a phone call saying, would you be interested in working this event? I go, sounds great. Give me some details. I go, well, we're going to have a Texas honky-tonk next to a space station, next to a forest. There'll be a giant dragon. I'm like, okay, all right. They're never going to pull it off. They did. Musical acts as far as the eye could see of the highest caliber. And it all happened, and it created a memorable weekend. But it needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of passion, a lot of imagination. The making of the Galaverse. Seeing is believing.
We are at the incredibly beautiful Aria Hotel outside the Ironwood Ballroom, getting ready to put on a huge, huge show.
The Galaverse is a fully immersive experience built using the concept of a Disneyland hub and spoke, where fans, players, and participants within the Gala metaverse can come here to the Aria, walk into the ballroom, and be transformed into a completely unique world.
This is a hell of an endeavor, and everyone's working 24/7 to make this incredible show work. I mean, it's everything that's going into the show is nuts, and I mean that in an amazing way, nuts. You know, but it's there's so much.
The biggest challenge here was the speed requirement. We had 40 days to perfect what is normally done in 6 to 8 months.
When people call and ask the impossible of you, most people say no. We don't like to say no. So we took a look at the actual scope of the project and decided it was definitely doable. And we have brought together, only doable if we were to bring together the best people in all facets of the various sides of the business that are required to execute this.
We got moving right away, and that's very rare to see nowadays, that you have that like creative trust and freedom to kind of, build out this incredible universe.
Because of the time frame and because of the amount of work, we have to kind of part things out.
The biggest thing for me is collaboration. So I really try to understand what type of costumes are we building, what kind of fabrications are going into this, what textiles are we working with. And then it splits up between cutter fitters and sewers, foam fabricators if we're working with larger builds, welders, I mean, you can name them all.
All of our creator, technical, producer talent, everybody we know on our team and in our world is on this project. We have people in Russia, making animations as well. So it's truly an international endeavor.
Where we are today is a huge achievement just to getting to where it is. I've not seen a project this big, this massive in all of what it entails happen in that amount of time.
And so we pulled in the best people in Hollywood, the best people in the events business, the best people in TV, and highly creative individuals to come and make this happen. Of course, it's been the vision of Gala Games and their executives and as to how this event should look, and we've had the pleasure of executing it.
We're working on the large chicken.
We're building a big-ass dragon.
I'm not sure his name, but this is what he's been called the whole time I've been working on it, is the large chicken.
There's always a really cool part of the process where you're making things in pieces. You might have a hand over here, a head over here, some legs over here, and it's all in various stages of being finished. And there's always this moment when all of the pieces just come together and it's almost like, they're attracted to one another via creative magnetism or something, and you go from this pile of assets to a fully realized character, and that moment, there's just nothing like it. It's indescribable.
This was probably one of the first jobs where right away, when I was able to pitch my creative documents between Bella and Gala, we got moving right away, and that's very rare to see nowadays, that you have that like creative trust and freedom to kind of, build out this incredible universe.
There are little moments in every build where we need to do something that's never been done before, or we need to create a finish on a character that's never been done before. So solving those little problems, that creative problem solving on a smaller, more like focused scale, for things that a lot of times people don't even see or notice, but we know it's there, and we've been able to solve this puzzle internally without anybody seeing our sins.
I love me some chainsaw. Yeah? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm a surgeon with that thing.
It's my life, it's my world. For me, Halloween is like 365 days a year.
A couple of sleepless nights because you're worried about, are we gonna make it? But it always seems to come together. We always seem to come together.
I'm trying to give him some attitude, a little striking, little aggressive, and he's a dragon, let him be.
We pretty much handle it all. If it doesn't exist, we can make it.
And I do think, that's something that Gala would be very excited about, to see that the artists from all these different avenues are coming together to truly execute one incredible form of artistry that's going to be presented soon.
Whoa. Everyone said yes, I can do it. Pretty practical use of a chainsaw, I gotta add as well there. But these people are just amazing. This crew, this team that made this all possible. And I'm watching that. And you at home on the live stream, we're gonna show you every detail so you can participate and feel what the Galaverse is all about. I'm sure it's being conveyed pretty well with these images. It really was a true spectacle. You saw the executioner, the giant chicken there, and I've been spending. He's glorious, isn't he? We made a connection. I'm gonna miss him. I'd like to take him home, but I don't think there's gonna be room in the small jets that fly back to LA. We'll take him. Okay, he's very affectionate, and he is gonna be overseeing the Chicken Challenge Cup, the Triple C, which is coming up later. We're getting closer to it minute by minute. Katie, the juices are flowing. We are ready. I know the competitors are getting ready. What's it looking like over at the Spider Tank Arena?
Everyone's pretty excited. We're ready to go. And you know what, Max, I was watching that video, and all I know is that there's a dragon cave in Spider Tanks, and I think we figured out where that dragon ended up. So please take good care of him and the rest of the Galaverse, because there's a for sale sign, and we've had some of these teams moving into the final using that very map to get there, and that's what we're here to talk about right now. The very first semi-final, let's pull it up on your screen. It was the EDJ versus the Clanking Tankers in a best of 3. What do I mean by that? I mean that you had to win 2 maps out of a total of 3, and this went down to the wire. As we got prepared to get into these games, they had to pick, right? Some mind games. You had to figure out what kind of build is your opponent going to use? What kind of build are you going to use to counter them? If you lose that first map, how do you respond? Because you get to pick the map and the mode to try and trip them up. And well, we saw these teams do it. No 2-0s, no sweeps here. They went the distance, whether they're on Jungle Temple, which is on your screen right now with a pretty blowout. Look at that, capture the flag. Over 100 points, to something like Safe Haven on Team Deathmatch, where we like to start every single series off. It came down to the wire. It even came down to some nail-biting overtimes that lasted almost as long as the game itself, when no one wanted to make a mistake. But at the very end of it, it was the EDJ that came out on top, the team that was victorious at the end of the day to make their way through the quarters, through the semis, and to the final today, Monday in Las Vegas at the Galaverse. Congratulations to EDJ. They have done such an incredible job being able to get there through all of the maps, all of the modes, and learning on the fly, because with a new game like Spider Tanks, this is a learning process for all of us, and EDJ did it just a little bit better than the Clanking Tankers. But they can't be crowned kings just yet, because there was another semifinal that occurred. Triple J versus Team JKJ. Don't ask me where all the J's came from, guys, but there was a lot of them. They had to get through their semifinal as well. So let's take a look at that. Safe Haven, this map on your screen. Every series will start off here with some good old-fashioned team death match. And what looked like it could have been a series that would be a 2-0, maybe the one we would see in the semifinals. Not the case at the end of the day. Some incredible comebacks, some risky plays that paid off for Team JKJ to be able to push it all the way to the finale, to be able to get them to this point. And hey, they made the comeback, but unfortunately fell just shy, because it was Team Triple J at the end of the day that came out of that semifinal to be able to challenge EDJ here at the end of the Chicken Challenge Cup and in the final here on Monday. This was the most exciting thing, because in the quarterfinals, Max and I, as we were casting all the action, we saw these teams innovating, learning, and that was the most exciting thing for us about Spider Tanks. Is this is not an old esport. This is not an esport where you know the ins and outs and the depths of the game. Both us as commentators, the players up on the stage, and the viewers alongside us all got to learn about what Spider Tanks has to offer in real time. And you got to see all of the action on your screen like you are right now. A 16-11 finish, a nail biter, and an exciting one at that sent Triple J to the final. Congratulations, EDJ. Triple J. At the end of the day, a J is going to win. We're just going to have to figure out exactly which one it is here in just a little bit. Now, Max, you'll be alongside me at the desk as we take it through all the action, but we still got a little bit more to get through before the Spider Tank Chicken Challenge Cup final can begin.
Thanks, Katie. We had controversy as well, and by the way, Team Triple J leads the tournament in high tens. They were doing this. I said, chill out on the emotions, but they don't care. It's an overflow of emotions. We'll see if they can keep doing that when it comes to the final. A little bit earlier, we showed you the creation of the Galaverse, what it took, a lot of hard work. Then the execution. It was showtime. What you're about to see, and I saw it here live, I cannot put into words, I'll try, but it was a phenomenon. And you had everything from a space battle to zombies to a walk into a tavern with all the sounds that you could imagine. You know, enough of my yapping. Let's show you, go back into the Galaverse.
Just looks like Tron, which is pretty sweet.
The reason we've done the Galaverse, or into the Galaverse, is actually to thank our community. They've been with us from the beginning. We don't always get it right. Crypto and blockchain gaming is kind of a niche space, so this event is actually for our community, and that's why it's not in any way, shape or form a conference.
Each individual world is an immersive experience around one of their games, either an existing game or a game that's in the immediate pipeline to be released. So there's a lot of excitement around people coming in and actually seeing these games.
So when we took on this project, and we didn't really quite comprehend just how epic of an undertaking this project was going to be, I think we had expectations, and they were pretty high because we like to do things right at Gala Games, and we like to always raise the bar and do things better and do things different. So we don't want to be a corporate ever. And I have to say, the companies that I've worked with have blown my mind. Like, you guys are genuinely just absolutely epic.
Yeah, normally a project like this takes about 10 to 12 months of this magnitude because it's 6 shows, theme parks, immersion experiences inside of one 40,000 square foot ballroom. But what we had to do is employ the best of the best.
What do you do anyway?
I don't. I'm still trying to figure that out
I'm
after all these years.
At core, what we do is help people tell compelling stories. So Gala have a very distinctive series of stories that they're telling their audience, that they're welcoming guests into a really distinctive environment. And one of the things that we love is you come to the aria, beautiful though the aria is, to a fairly usual kind of hotel, convention center kind of thing, and you walk through the doors and you're transported to a series of environments, each one of which place you right in the middle of the story, right in the middle of the action, and get a sense of what it's like to be not a participant playing a game, but in a game.
There's total creative freedom here on this project, which I think is cool. It's not like you have to do something just like this and don't stray away. Creatively, we just choreograph, put this number together, 2 numbers together, and been rehearsing with the dancers the last 2 days. And I mean, we left just sweat dripping, worn out. There's so many different elements, you know, even for like a 5-minute performance. There's lighting, special effects, costumes, choreography, music, video content. It's just like a lot, but it's fun. I mean, that's a fun process.
A lot of the times people will see a game preview, they'll see a short 30-second clip or something, you know, a video on Twitch or on the internet, and they'll get excited about it. That's what we're building. It's essentially Disneyland for gamers.
We're from a blockchain gaming company that believes in the decentralized future, where it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you were born with, but it's more about what you want to do and the access you have. And if you take that mentality, I think we've just proven you can do absolutely anything.
The whole reason this is here is basically putting games back into the hands of gamers, putting them on the blockchain and allowing the play to earn, so the wealth gets transferred. Instead of it being owned by big companies, it's owned by the players. And it's fun. It's from mirandas to Vox to Townstar to Echoes of Empire to Spider Tanks. They're just fun games.
Blockchain almost doesn't matter anymore. It's just the protocol that these games sit on. So what's lovely is if we can legitimize the blockchain gaming space as the games you want to play. So you're not having to compromise between your AAA experience to earn some coin. Actually, you have your AAA experience and you own your assets and you can earn coin. So it's the bringing together of those worlds that's the most exciting thing. And what's really, really lovely is when we were walking around the Galaverse this morning, is each and every single team member in their world, they totally own that world. They've built it from scratch, they've designed it, they've cared for it, they've put all the little finishing touches on it, and it's that makes it so, so special.
Sarah, you always knock it out of the park. You explained it perfectly. Did everyone take the tour of the role-playing games, Dungeons & Dragons and Mirandas? Oh, man. I did it twice. It was very, very good. And there's so much more here. And as Sarah touched earlier on in our program, it's gamers first. It's about the gaming. But so much comes off of that. And whether you're in Canada or United States or Panama or the Philippines and you play games, in particular Townstar, it could change your life, and what you're about to see is proof. People benefiting from their gaming experience. Let's take a look at what the Gala Games are doing for the people of the world.
It might not be that sustainable for people in the US, for example, but when you do the conversion to the needs locally, it's a lot of money that could be potentially earned from these kinds of things. And yeah, just being able to sustain myself and my needs while also being able to do the rescue work that I want to do is really fundamentally changing for my life. It also gives me the opportunity to give back to others and give back to, well, the animals that are under my care. So it's still really, I don't know, there aren't really enough words for me to describe how much has happened or how amazing it's all been in the past year ever since I started discovering Gala and everything that it had to offer.
Earlier this year, we did get struck with some family problems. And it was an issue where mail got lost. We didn't receive the warning. And because of that, my mother-in-law's insurance for medication was revoked. And it's taken us about this long to really get it back up. And this was a struggle. We had to cover upwards of like $700 a month, plus everything else. And it was worth it. It was a struggle, but it was worth it. Paid off medicine, groceries, debt. Now, only thing I've got left is, other than helping with the car, is one credit card. And then I'll be debt-free by 30. Like, I've been slowly paying it off, but being able to pay it in a large chunk, they look at you with positivity, and you're able to extend how long you pay off because they know they're receiving. And that was a great feeling.
Gala Games given me something that you cannot buy.
Gala Games given me the confidence to keep going and keep struggling. You cannot explain it. I cannot explain it in words how you feel when you are broke. Okay. But after the mayhem, after I won $950 worth of Gala coins, knowing that I have that much money in my Gala treasure box, gave me the confidence I needed to be better in life, and knowing that I could play Town Star for me and my family to keep being able to put food in the table. That changes your perception in life. You start being positive.
Gala has been, to me, incredibly, which I did not expect was going to happen, a gateway into this, for me, new world of blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, DEXs, FOMO, FOD, and all the other concepts around this that I'm still learning, that are not necessarily part of my generation.
It's in many ways life-changing for me, right? That, it's kind of weird to think that a game can have such a huge impact on your day-to-day, like my mental state is just better. I'll put it like that, right? So it's great. I'm pretty grateful. I'll put it like that, right?
I really want to say thank you so much to Gala Games. Okay. You see that silver stuff there, and the one behind that's courtesy of Gala Games. Okay, the oven and the two-door fridge. My first two-door fridge, my first brand new fridge since birth. I never had a brand new fridge. I had a couple of fridges, but all of them are hand-me-downs and second-hands. But that's the first fridge that I got brand new, courtesy of Gala Games.
Excited me about Gala in general was the idea that you could do something fun and you would be able to support yourself doing so.
I played Town Star. I started up, I went in, I played it, and then I fell down the rabbit hole of Town Star, and I never came out. And that's the story.
Setting up the town, getting your name on the top 10 during those first crucial hours. That's the really exciting part. You become instant celebrity when you get there.
I love talking with the community. I love watching the leaderboards roll. I think that's like my most enjoyable part is the start, that first day. You just watch yourself going up, and then you just start falling into the thousands. You're like, oh God, I hope my final build can pull me up. And when you start seeing yourself just starting to climb, and you see other people going like this with you, it's so enjoyable to me. And the payout was just kind of sudden and awesome, and just, I would have played it even without it.
And it's always changing. There's so many different ways to play. So it's never boring, right? And I love that. I love the fact that it's challenging. There have been times where, this is going to sound crazy. There have been times where I'm not actually in front of the computer. I'll be in the kitchen or something. And I'll be thinking about, if I move my oil pump from here to here, this is less distance for them to walk. So then maybe I should do that. And then I'll come running upstairs and, changing it a little bit. And I'm like constantly thinking about it, even when I'm not actually playing it, which is kind of nuts.
So that's the thing I like about Gala. Gala is trying to bring in my opinion, is trying to bring to the masses a wide range of appealing projects so that you can find somewhere to fit in. They are not leaving anyone out.
It's barely even breaking the surface of what it can be right now, and it's really exciting to see how things have become.
I think that Gala is in a good position to be kind of an example of how things can be and can be better.
Gala Games is a gaming company, so we talk about games. We talk about how fun it is. We talk about how much we enjoy about it. You know, we're there for the game, and we'd like to enjoy it with our friends.
Oh! It's official now. The executioner has made it official as he sprays his mist.
He has spoken.
You can feel it. It's very refreshing, but it's all business now. We have reached the final here, Katie. High tension. We'll talk to the teams in a little bit, but this is it. There is no tomorrow. The first ever Chicken Challenge Cup on offer here.
Right here, right now, we have trophies that we are going to give out to whichever team comes out on top, whichever team is graced by the executioner.
He reigns supreme. You know who was in the competition but got knocked out in the quarterfinals? The man who developed this game, Dietmar Tukar, who came all the way from the Netherlands to see. I'm sure he's thrilled, but he didn't make the final. He helped create this. He did create this game. He sat down with our Nick Webster to talk about it, and then we come back after we hear that, we'll get to the final. Let's go! Woo!
Thanks, Max, and welcome back to the Galaverse Library. I'm with Dietmar Tucker, CEO of Game Media. You've just got off a helicopter. How was it?
It was fantastic. It was on my bucket list for about 40 years, and now I got the time to do this.
Right, so how did you get involved in game development?
It was really a long time ago. My dad was in the programming department of a really big energy company. We were one of the very first Dutch people who actually got a really huge computer at our home, and there it really started. I think I was 8 years old or so. I was really young.
The games you create are just incredible. Where do you get your creativity from?
Well, it can be anywhere. It can be on a train, in a car ride, or if you see a part of a movie that inspires you, you think, wow, this would really be great into a game maybe. Then you try it out and to make a game of it.
Are there any designers that you really admire and you've taken some influence from?
The Bitmap brothers. They were actually from the UK, and they made incredible games. And even for that time, when not that much was possible, these graphics, they were so stunningly good, and they have this audio that was so stunningly good. They were really ahead of their time.
Have you ever met the Bitmap brothers?
I actually did. I met John Hare once. I went up to him and said, I'm a really huge fan of you.
It's cool to actually meet one of your heroes, right?
Yeah, I'm inspired by game programmers or people from the movie industry.
Tell me a little bit about your company, Game Media.
I started it by myself in the beginning, so the first couple of years I'd done everything by myself, so I was sort of a superhero, calling clients during the day and I'm programming during the night. I've done that for a couple of years, and then somebody called me and said, hey, I saw your game and I live in your city, can I work with you? And I said, I'm not really looking for people, but you can come over and say hi, maybe we can do something. And that was Justin, was my first employee. He was great. He still works at the company and he's one of the best programmers I know.
I know you have a great relationship with Gala and Sarah Buxton. Where did you meet?
I believe it was on an online game conference.
Now that you've got this team together, let's talk some spider tanks. What was the inspiration behind it?
I was playing around with my kid. I saw her play a game, which inspired me to make
something similar. We knew a lot about multiplayer games already, so we also thought this was a very good business opportunity. If you want to make it as a new company, you have to make something that's also a bit unique, and it has to be stunning and awesome, etc. So we worked on a game called Stoda. You can walk around with very big spiders, and you can walk on the ground, but you can also walk on ceilings, and you can walk on walls, etc. So the procedural programming stuff we have in Stoda game, we also have in the Spider Tank game.
So what are the unique challenges creating a blockchain game?
The business model itself is really different. Gala, they're working on some new technology to make the NFTs work in our game as well, but it's not really a challenge, it's just work in progress.
And what was the inspiration behind the chicken tank?
It was actually started out with a joke from one of our designers. He put the chicken in a pond for no reason. Our first presentation with the Gala, they asked me on a live stream, what is this chicken doing in this pond? I responded with, every game should have a chicken in it. And everybody laughed, and yeah, I think there it started, and later we thought, yeah, now we have to make a chicken in this game.
So what role do NFTs play in the game?
People can buy NFTs in the game, so you can buy tank parts, or you can buy a complete unique tank, and you can play with it.
The Spider Tank World Cup was just in Seoul. What was it like watching that event?
It was just so great to see people playing our game. They were actually pretty good at it as well, so I really enjoyed the stream. It was 4 o'clock at night, but I wake up for it, and it was totally worth it.
Now he's got all three, and he's still alive! They can't finish him! They can't find him! Oh my gosh, okay.
Oh, he goes down.
The buzzer beater. They still get one extra kill onto Shelly. They've got a couple points early on.
Dietmar Tucker, CEO of Game Media. Max, we've got the Spider Tank final going on right now. We've got another big tournament for you, Dietmar.
We're ready for it, and we're excited.
Well, there was incredible excitement at the World Cup final in Seoul. There's going to be even more excitement in our very own Spider Tank in the Galaverse. Back to you, Max.
Thank you, Nick. We're ready for the final. Jam-packed arena. And I thought Dietmar made a really good point. Every game should have a chicken in it. So I'm going to have a chit-chat here with Team EDJ. Eric, there were studios all represented in this tournament, but now it's Gala versus Gala. How is that going to affect what happens in the office? Who wins here?
Oh, it's going to change everything. Yeah. We'll see what happens, but
how key is the teamwork here? Because there's a reset after each game, and I know there's that conversation. How prevalent is that in the result at the end?
well, actually, teamwork is everything in this one. So if you're not working together, you're not working.
Good luck, gentlemen. We're pulling. I'm going for Team EDJ. What do you got over there, Katie?
Max, thank you so much. Adam, did you ever believe that you would be on an esports stadium playing for the first ever Spider Tanks tournament, the Chicken Challenge Cup?
Never in my life, but man, I am hype.
I think we all are, guys. Let's give it up for both of our teams here at the final. Now, we know that teamwork is incredibly important for Spider Tanks, but for Triple J, what do you believe the key to success is?
Stay away from that stealth tank with the shotgun.
Good advice for everyone in the audience. Best of luck, Adam and the rest of Triple J. EDJ, best of luck as well.
All right. Katie, this is what I was looking forward to, calling a final. This is exciting.
I'm very excited. You get to the final, you see all of the action behind the scenes, the quarterfinals, the semis, the tiers, the highs and the lows. And now we're here for a best of 5. The first of 3 map wins will come out on top.
I want to put this one on my resume. This is, I was there for the first Chicken Challenge Cup. But you can sense the intensity. They don't want to go. When I was asking Eric, I could see Patrick over here give a death stare like, oh, we're winning. We are taking that cup, and it's going to sit on, I'm sure, his office, and he'll remind everyone. But still a long way to go before we get to that final, before we get to that moment where we lift the trophy. But Team EDJ, Team Triple J have made it this far. And everyone's filled out, we should have handed out brackets.
I know, so that they know what's going on. I think, again, as we get into it, I've said it before, we start things off, this is Safe Haven, the map, and it's always team deathmatch, a good old bloody fight to the very Spider Tank death. And as the teams go head-to-head, neither a kill yet as we get toward a sub-3-minute map number 1. You can see some of those shield drones coming out. That's that big bubble on that red player at the bottom of your screen. It's a good way to protect yourself when you're having a bit of an oh crap moment. Maybe you committed a little too much, Max. And of course, both teams utilizing that repair artillery in the background to keep them safe from a distance.
Just for you following here in the studio, and for those at home, it is Team EDJ in the blue. And just what we saw in the semifinals, they were very tightly contested. Let's speak the gospel here. The quarterfinals were blowouts. Semifinals, they all went to the best of 3. And now the best of 5 as we see who will lift the trophy. But I get the feeling, Katie, there's not going to be much separating these two teams. And early on, lo and behold, there it is, 3-2 in favor of Team EDJ.
EDJ coming out for blood, and well, you have Triple J backed all the way into a corner, and they won't be able to get too far from you. They did a great job collapsing onto those two players, give themselves, EDJ, a man advantage, and they were able to secure the double kill to give themselves a 3-kill lead here now, as we have about 1 minute and 50 seconds left. You think that's a lot of time, but when each of these matches is 3.5 minutes max, you blink and it's over. Suddenly you're back. Your spider legs are against the wall. You have no chickens left in the coop, and you're falling down a map early. So how will Triple J answer back? Getting the kill on the board is a great way to start.
That whoever loses this gets the balls in their court in the second matchup, as they get to pick the mode, they get to pick the map. It could go in a variety of directions. You'll see the teams have that discussion. You want to catch the opponent off guard. You gotta be ready for everything. And again, Katie, the sophistication level of these players has gone through the roof. They know how to play this game. They know the strategies. They know where to go, where not to go. And as you see that how the clusters of the teams as well work out, well, you don't want to be set adrift from your team.
Triple J talked about it, right? Adam said you want to stay away from that shotgun build, and that's exactly what EDJ is using. You're using that blink body, which sacrifices health in lieu of speed. You drop that drone shield, and you fly towards that opposing team with a shotgun that outputs such high damage. And it can really be a problem for your team if you're not effectively shutting them down. But hey, slow but sure. I mean, you only have 30 seconds left, but just like that, we have a tie game, Max. It's 6-6. Triple J have found a way to answer back. They have found a solution to that shotgun, and now they're looking to bring it home, but they've only got about 25 seconds left. Either side getting a little careful, backing away.
Keeping a safe distance.
We've seen this very moment before. We will go into overtime, and then it's who
sudden death
willing to commit first.
We're heading there. What a comeback here from Triple J. But you've come all the way. You don't want to leave it short. 6 seconds to go.
But you got to be careful because there's a flank coming in from the remainder of the team. EDJ, if you're not there to support him, it's overtime. If they pick him off now, he will get caught out and fall. He's trying to get away just in the nick of time, but the shots will connect with just a sliver of his life.
Oh, no! He got out of it!
He's able to get away. The overtime will continue, a stalemate as we duke it out in the top right side of Safe Haven. They're so close, but the fire comes in, and Triple J with the final kill. The flank was a good thought out of EDJ, but they could not connect on the communication. And Triple J, they come back from the deficit to take map 1.
What was it? It was 5-2, and they came back all the way to tie it 6-6 and win it 7-6. That's gonna put a lot of wind in their sails. Now they sit and wait to see what Team EDJ is going to come up with. But I'm telling you, we were seeing drubbings, and now it is razor sharp here to see who's going to be able to emerge. There's the conversations that have to be had. We talk about the teamwork, and now Triple J has got to anticipate what Team EDJ is going to do. Now they win the first set. 2 more. Chicken Challenge Cup is theirs.
Triple J, that was an enormous comeback. We can't understate what happened there, right? So Adam on Triple J, he was talking about that fast-paced shotgun play style. If you can identify it and isolate it and punish that player for their over-aggression, then you will be able to completely shut down that team comp that we saw out of EDJ. Well, they tripped up a little bit at the beginning, Max. Maybe it just took them a minute to find their footing, find their legs. You know, they've had 3 or up to 8, depending on what body they're picking. But at the end of the day, they were able to figure that tactic out, shut it down, and answer back, pushing it into the overtime, and then closing it out. I think it was that flank out of EDJ. I noticed that we were only seeing 2 of their players, but I think maybe a lapse in communication for just a minute because they did not come together and create a choke when they could have.
Yeah, they got kind of stuck up on that high bridge, and there was really nowhere to go after that. But I was impressed because they went, we know the Titan. The Titan is the heavy armor. They went with 2 Titans. They pushed up. They had, I believe it was the chicken, or was it the shark that was coming in to get the heavy artillery from long range. it worked. But do you go back to the well here in this second game? Do you go back and see what worked, anticipating it could be a death match? Could be capture the chicken, capture the flag, or deliver the chicken. It's very cool. So we're going to see here. And now the pressure certainly is on Team EDJ, but they look like a confident bunch. They've been in this situation. Remember, they were this close to being knocked out in the semifinals against the Tankers, and they found a way out. So now they're here. So they're living on they got their get out of jail free card. Now they want to use it.
I think one of the nice things specifically about this team is that, hey, it's a best of 5. So unlike a best of 3, your backs are not completely against the wall at this point. You do have a little more wiggle room. You can give up 2 maps total in this series. So just like that, you can answer back here. Again, EDJ, they're going to be able to pick the map and the mode. There's 4 maps. You've already seen Safe Haven. They could very well take to Arctic Base. It's one of the larger maps, right out in the open. Not a lot of narrow pathways like you're going to see in Safe Haven. Or perhaps the Dragon Cave or even the Jungle Temple, where controlling mid-map is king. And of course, you said it, Egg Chaser, capture the flag. I have a feeling, though, if this went to overtime, Max, we very well could see another team deathmatch, and that's exactly where we're going. Arctic Base, team deathmatch, a lot more room to maneuver, and no surprise just yet, seeing that Executioner coming out, seeing that long-range repair artillery, and actually, at least on the side of EDJ, they are still utilizing, still going for a potential shotgun in this meta, but it's such a large map, will you be able to use it effectively?
Yeah, this is a map where there's a lot of space, but you're wide open. Not as many places where you can disguise your attacks. There's not many places you can hide behind. I also want to keep an eye out, because I've named the whale now. Willie the Whale, he'll pop up here.
Willie the Whale,
That's unofficial naming, but I just went ahead and jumped the gun there.
And well, it looked
Got
like
our first
Triple
kill.
J might be able to secure that first one, but a bit of overcommitment as we talked about how that chicken body, I mean, yes, you're going to lose a little bit of health there. The trade comes in, not quite able to back away far enough to pick up one of those health packs and get topped off. But again, the trade's right back at it. EDJ will answer, take the lead here once again. And from these turrets, I think what I'd like to see right now out of Triple J is perhaps a little more aggressive placement of that cannon turret. Because take a look at how far forward they have to be for it to even start connecting with Team EDJ. So maybe support them a bit more, but this is where the shotgun cloak comes in. He tries to take one down, will be able to secure the kill. Yes, Derek will, EDJ, this is what we talked about. It was great effect for them in map number 1, and they'll be able to secure a kill. And take a look at that now, 5-2-1. I was wondering if that shotgun would work well in this map, and well, if you wait long enough that they forget about it, it does.
They did very well. Eric, Jeff, Derek, Wizard, Artificer, Technomancer. They came in with the team intro. Match favorite question mark. 5-1. They got to pick this map, and it's working out swimmingly for them. Still a long way to go, but 5-1. And now the strategy, get out of harm's way. Make sure you don't get within those firing lines. Again, they're going to lay those turrets down if you are Triple J, but you got to make contact.
And once again, that tank, that shotgun coming in, and they should be expecting this at this point. If you do not see him for any amount of time, you need to be calling that out to your team. You need to be relaying that communication so that you can expect that flank to come in. No kill just yet.
Triple J
will be able to answer and close it to within 3, but you only have a little over a minute left, and that is not a lot of time to make this happen. But they close it down to 2, and now you're in a 3v2. If there was ever a time to push up, it's going to be right now. Aaron will have to be careful because
gotta get out of there.
That repair artillery is so very useful. They should be able to mop up these kills, make it 5-4. Now within 1, can they bring it to a tie? They can.
Again, there is no separating these teams, although Team EDJ get the kill to go 6-5. 40 seconds to go. Stick and move here, and now Team EDJ, this is really smart here, Katie. Get out of dodge. Get that big cushion between you and your opponent. It's a risk because there's 30 seconds, and you know Triple J is going to be in hot pursuit.
And take a look, they're trying to do a little bit of a flank, maybe a pinch of their own, using that Executioner at the bottom, just try to top them up. I like this cannon turret placement.
Gotta be risky, gotta go for it.
You gotta be careful because it's all about that shotgun. Can you deal with it? Yes, you can. We get down to 13 seconds. It's gonna go into an overtime, but now Triple J takes the lead for the first time in this map. Make it 8, 6, 5 seconds left. Do you even have the ability to answer back? No, you don't. It's a team wipe. We'll see a 2-0 lead for Triple J.
Wow, back-to-back comeback victories for Triple J. Patrick, Aaron, and Adam, they are in the catbird seat. They are 1 match away from a clean sweep. But Katie, all I can imagine, These have been so close, you would imagine the law of averages would say that Team EDJ will emerge here. But the first game I think you can live with, but the second one with that healthy lead on Arctic base where you can separate, it got away from them. That's going to be a bitter pill to swallow.
I agree. I think they've been using that shotgun to such great effect, but I think, again, we talk about the repetitiveness of that play style. You will eventually be able to figure out what they're going to do and when they're going to do that. And I think they were, Triple J, able to answer back. And hey, I said a best of 5. You don't have to sweat too much, but now you should be, because you're down 0-2. You have to complete a reverse sweep of 3 maps in a row, push it all the way to the edge. And you know what, Max? I hope we get there. Guys, do you want to see a series? You don't want this to be a
best
sweep,
of 5, right?
You want to see what they've got?
We got all day.
They picked Arctic base, and we'll see once again.
And that's what they're playing for, by the way.
These beautiful trophies.
There is, with regards to trophies, is they don't look at it, don't touch it until you win it. But I can't help it. It's glorious. I don't think the players are. They're locked in, but that's
Can we
just
take
me.
them?
Very
will they
superstitious
notice?
with regards to trophies, but that's just me talking.
Well, Triple J, they look locked in and ready to go. They've got their eye on the prize. That's why I asked Adam, did you ever imagine you'd be up on a stage playing for an esports cup? And he said, heck no, but now you're a map away from being able to raise that trophy.
Okay, now the builds are going to get started here for these teams, and Team EDJ, it's worked. They've had 2 close defeats, but maybe you go for something completely different. Maybe with the map, because you've gone with the deathmatch, you get to choose again what's going to happen here. Maybe you throw a spanner in the works to see if you can catch your opponent off guard. Differentiate in the build. You pretty similar builds in those first 2 games. Maybe you come out with something different.
Well, it depends, right? So I think maybe now the time to retire that shotgun, as I said. But once again, EDJ does get to pick the map and mode. I like Arctic base. It does give you a lot of room to maneuver. But I think if you're them, maybe try the Brambler turret combo, right? So that's something where you'll still utilize the repair artillery in the backline, but that Brambler, much like the repair artillery, places an AoE, but it does damage and it slows whatever opponents are within that circle. You couple it with aggressive turret placement, and suddenly you're getting mowed down by a cannon turret, a machine gun turret, and it makes it that much easier for the rest of your team to land their skill shots.
Turrets lay him down. We haven't seen the Brambler either, and the Brambler is... Well, you'll know it when you see it.
It'll slow you down.
It'll slow you down,
a bad time.
and that's exactly what EDJ has to do with this runaway train that has been Triple J, the executioner, looking on, wondering who is going to win this first Chicken Challenge Cup. It looks like Triple J, but again, there's nothing separating these 2 teams in the first, just the results. EDJ's got to keep doing it and just put a little bit more.
I've seen some crazier reverse sweeps in my time, so EDJ, they can certainly get it done. And I think when you look at some of these builds too, no surprise, you tend to see a tankier, healthier meta so far. And I say this meta is just beginning. The game is in beta. There is so much skill expression and depth in Spider Tanks to be explored, but no surprise, you are going to see things like maybe a Titan. You want that one player, particularly maybe an Egg Chaser or even Capture the Flag, to have a high amount of health to be able to take any of the abuse that the other team doles out. And then the rest of them are a little bit more of that medium armor. They're not too squishy, but they do get that movement speed to get around the map. And hey, you couple that with something like a speed boost too, especially if you go for one of these objective game modes, something like Jungle Temple. If you have that flag and you're boot scooting boogieing away with a boost, you're not going to be able to catch that person. Before you know it, they're on the other side of the map and you can't get to them.
If you want to do a boot scooting boogie, you can go over to Town Star. It's just over yonder, and you can
True.
You roll up to the bar, have a sarsaparilla, as I like to say. That's my drink of choice, as you'll find out a little bit later. Here is the build again, and you go for speed like the Flea or the Jack-o'-lantern, which is optically pleasing. Haven't seen it yet in this final, or you go the other direction, perhaps with the Titan. You'll see the Titan every time. That's your anchor that gets out there to be able to absorb some pressure from the opponent so you can possibly open up for your other 2 teammates to do some damage. Whether it's a death match, whether it's going to be Capture the Flag, or the Chicken Challenge as well. As Dietmar said, every game should have a chicken. We have plenty of them.
It does, and I love the executioner. Not only is he here in spirit and in all-seeing angry chicken glory, but in the game as well, exactly as you said. And I think if I had any advice for Triple J, it's don't take your foot off the pedal just yet. You have managed to win 2 games that do not get closer than they did. do not relax right now. I've seen that fatal error from a team before. You think you've got it in the bag, you got all your chickens, you counted all the eggs before they hatch, and next thing you know, EDJ comes roaring back into a series. You find yourself in a game 5, Max, and then you're shook.
You just emptied your chicken pun chamber right there.
I know, we've been doing this for 3 days. There's a lot of puns.
I'm lagging badly in that. I got to come out with a couple here. 15
well,
seconds. We're ready to get this.
We're about to get
I agree
into
with you. Team EDJ wins this, and then that's going to make Triple J think. I mean, these J's are everywhere. It's going to make them think. It looks like we are going to enter the jungle temple. The question is, what will the mode be? It's going to be collect and deliver the chickens.
And so the key here, right, is that, yes, if you die, they don't get any points, but they do in the sense that your map pressure gets completely obliterated. You're a man down at that point, and it allows the other team to deposit chickens without suffering the consequences. So you can see that number. Take a look at Triple J, that 2 above his head, holding 2 chickens. You need to go to one of the barrels of the map, and then you'll see a big orange line around their body. You must let that complete for each chicken you are depositing into a barrel. And you're essentially a sitting duck when that's happening, Max, because anyone can do damage to you. They know that you have to stay at that barrel. So being able to play the numbers game, play the clock, and effectively deny the other team is going to be the key to success.
And Katie, where are the chickens? Because I know there is a strategy to go find them, and there can be multiple chickens in certain parts of this map. If you can get 2 or 3 and safely make it to that basket, you're in major business. We already have the score ticking up, 6-4 for Team EDJ. For the 3rd time today, we have seen Team EDJ get a healthy lead, but as we have found out, no lead is safe.
No lead is safe, and there's a trade at the top map that comes through, but still, it's going to be EDJ so far being able to take a nice 4 kill, make their 5, deposited chicken lead as we get to this 2-minute timer. We've actually seen teams come back specifically on this map and mode because they're able to put out that damage, but every single member is consistently finding chickens. And take a look at Eric on the EDJ side, so far away, completely uncontested, depositing these chickens. And now they're up to 14-5. And Triple J, yes, you're getting the kills, but where are the chickens?
Where are the chickens? You gotta look long and hard. Now, 15-7 to me sounds like a safe lead, but 1 minute and 30 is an eternity in Shark Tanks.
And look at this,
Spider
Triple
Tanks,
J.
pardon me, I got a little confused. But
Hey, there's sharks.
We have a shark. We want to build new,
There is a
new
shark
bodies.
tank.
You're gonna have the shark, you have the shepherd, the scorpion, the junker, the bandit.
And I think Triple J, again, kind of just being out-rotated here, out-coordinated. So 20-7, it doesn't get more dominant than that. Triple J attempting to get a deposit. It will come through, but you got to make up a deficit of 12 chickens, which is more than you even have on the board. That's going to be a tall task, especially when you're consistently trading kills. It's not like you've gotten a wipe. It's not like you've gotten 2-0 and you haven't traded anything. And now 22 chickens and counting. I think it's safe to say we may have a series on our hands.
That's great. That's great for the viewing public. What do you guys think? We need a good beat.
Are we going to a
Team EDJ needed to send a message, and they are doing that in bushels right now. They found something that works, collecting, delivering chicken. This has been very one-sided, and as we could not stress enough, chickens are very special in the world of spider tanks.
And you have to take a look as well, the builds from EDJ. They definitely went with a bit more movement here, again, favoring that shotgun, but that movement speed within this Jungle Temple map has given them, yes, they're able to move around a map in a way that Triple J can neither keep up with or track. So you might have someone on EDJ in a corner on the right side depositing chickens and you don't even realize it. Well, you can realize that score line, 31-9 is where we'll close it out. EDJ answers back. We got a series on our hands, but now that means Triple J gets to pick our map and mode.
And I'm guessing they're not going to collect chickens.
Probably not.
That would seem unwise, but maybe they feel good. Very confident stuff. We're gonna go catch up with our players here and see what they are thinking, but the tension is certainly starting to build. They're playing for that right there. Can you see the chickens? Don't look at it. Don't touch it. Just look at it. That's enough. All right, we're gonna go I'll go catch up with Team EDJ. See what they're thinking.
Seamless transition there, Max. I like that.
I don't want to give away any intel because I know you guys are having a discussion. The collecting the chickens seemed to work.
I like chicken.
A nice rotisserie, maybe a bucket of fried chicken.
Any style.
Any style. What are you expecting now? Because it's been turned. The tide has been turned here, where they get to collect the map or choose the map. What do you think? What do you expect?
It's gonna be tough here. We got a new mode with capture the flag, so we'll see what happens.
All right, very interesting. What do you got over there, Katie, with Triple J? They still have the lead.
Yes, they do. Now, EDJ, they're going to have to complete a reverse sweep, which is no tall task, but they've started that by finally getting one on the board, forcing you into a map 4. So, Adam, that was a little bit rough, to put it nicely, but now I think, what are your adjustments going to be? I think maybe we heard capture the flag, a new mode for this map?
We're going team deathmatch. That's where we usually have success. Chicken collection is not our strong suit. We've lost, I think, every one of those in this tournament. So let's go back to team deathmatch.
Look, not everyone can juggle eggs. I know I can. Triple J, they're not worried about it. They're very confident that they can mow down their competition, and team deathmatch looks like that's where we're heading, Max.
Wait, you already putting it out there? It's going to be team deathmatch. Doesn't matter.
Or these are mind games, maybe. Who knows?
They said it's going to be team deathmatch. Do you believe them? They did. They do believe them. They think that's going to be team deathmatch as well.
All right. We'll have
be it
to
for
wait
me
and
to
see.
doubt either one of these teams.
Well, best of luck, gentlemen. 2 more on the side of EDJ. Just 1 for Triple J to close it out here in the best of 5. And who knows, maybe capture the flag, maybe team deathmatch. I have no idea, Max.
That was amazing. That's like Babe Ruth calling his shot, pointing out to the outfield fence, saying that's where I'm going to hit it. Triple J just came out and said, we're going to do team deathmatch. Come and beat us.
They've had the ice, Max, in 2 team death matches in a row, one which went to overtime, one which almost did. So Triple J, if I'm them, if that's the mode they choose to go to, I would feel fairly confident within that. But again, this is the moment where you have to sit and wait and decide, okay, EDJ has used this same shotgun build every single map. Do we try and shut that down here, or do we think that maybe they're going to switch it up? And it's those sort of mind games, those prep that is done by a team in this garage phase that could potentially determine how a map plays out, because the last thing you want to do is overthink yourself, over-strategize yourself when the other team is just really not as complicated as you're making it.
We're learning a lot about the game as we do this, and the shotgun is very popular. The flamethrower hasn't been leaned into as much. Maybe that changed. We haven't seen it in over 3 days. We've been calling these
and
matches.
Flamethrower, close range, much like the shotgun. If you can get to them, whether it's coupled with a Brambler or maybe you have that speed boost, it'll do a lot of damage, but you could also get caught out and take it down yourself.
We're in the midst of the build. We're going to get the game 4 ready. Can you imagine this goes to the 5th game?
It very well could, guys. You want to talk about it? All it takes is 1 more for EDJ, and then we're going to that game 5. It's all tied up 2-2, and this is a big thing, right? When you talk about momentum, Triple J, they take 2 maps in a row. You have all the momentum on your side to be able to close this final out. EDJ, you get a map. Maybe there's a little bit of a fire that you're stoking. If you can push this to a game 5, you will see the momentum swing in their direction to be able to close it out.
Team Triple J has been so good with regards to the death match, and we're going to back to basics death match right here in Safe Haven. Keep in mind, although Triple J has won both death matches to start this championship, they have done it in comeback fashion. They have done it by the skin of their teeth. The first game went to overtime. I expect another close one here again, Katie.
That's exactly what we're getting. A lot of long-range firepower coming through. The first one on the board on the side of Triple J, able to get it. The Executioner connecting with those shots, and now the push comes in. EDJ, you gotta be careful, Jeff. You're gonna get taken out just like that. A beautiful swarm out of the side of Triple J. They won't be able to get the full wipe, but sometimes you'll take what you can get. Starting off with 2 kills, moving as a unit, using those turrets to their best advantage is exactly what you need.
Look at the gap here, as all of a sudden going to the lower bridge, it is Team EDJ as they have congregated, and now they will engage the team from Triple J, who will come out with a tight, double tight chicken. That's not a bad one. We'll see what kind of weapons can break through. Shield is working very nicely here for Team EDJ.
Yeah, let's talk about something too. That shield drone that you just saw utilized on the side of Triple J, that big barrier over that player. Those abilities have a refresh time. There's a cooldown period. So if you use that maybe prematurely, and then a push comes in or the trades really start to fly, you will not have that utility available to you, Max. You have to be extremely careful of that because that can sometimes decide fights. And well, just like that, Triple J out of left field, I say make sure to use your utility, and they do just that. 4 unanswered kills, less than 2 minutes to go.
Well, it's pretty safe this time. If Team EDJ is not going to blow a lead here, they're going to have to reverse it and be the comeback kids as all of a sudden 4-zip. When you haven't scored here the first minute or so, it's going to be hard to procure. You've got to take some risks here. 5-zip in Team Triple J, a minute 30 from hoisting the Chicken Challenge Cup.
And this is, I like what they're doing. They are just consistently staying together as a team. And Patrick just shy on the reach of that artillery to secure that 6th kill. But what that does is force that player, Max, even if you don't get the kill, it forces that EDJ player to back off and regroup. And when you're just playing the clock at this point, that's about as good as a kill. Now we get down to just over a minute left. EDJ, you gotta start something now. You gotta be able to answer back. What can you do to try and get on the board to push this to that game 5? Well, hitting up with that AoE flamethrower is a good start.
It is a crowning achievement right now. 6-zip in favor of Team Triple J. They called their shot. They said it was going to be a death match, and now they are moments away for
Very
a coronation.
one-sided deathmatch, Max. That's 7 unanswered kills. You have 35 seconds to get 7 to push it to an overtime, much less 8 to be able to win it. EDJ, you did such a phenomenal job of outplaying them on jungle, temple. You have to do it here. You have to dig deep. You have to figure out a way to answer, but with 20 seconds, this is looking real rough, and Derek tries to back off, will get caught up. That's 8 unanswered points. We may be seconds away, Max, from declaring the winner of the first ever Chicken Challenge Cup. And as the time winds down, Max, we will have to see what exactly is happening up
I'm being
on
told
stage.
there's a glitch.
Oh, well.
We had this.
All right.
This happened in the semifinals. Oh no!
That's what happens in a beta, Max, right?
Team
Sometimes it's
EDJ benefited from the glitch in the semis.
So we'll see exactly what is going to happen here. It came down to that wire, and I mean, I say wire, it was about 8-0, so.
I'm speaking to our officiating crew here. Is it official? There's a rematch, so we're going back to the game 4. We want a rematch, Ed. Who wants a rematch, or do we call it a rematch?
Guys, we're gonna run it back. You can't end it on an 8-0 with no kills on the side of EDJ. Now, something to note here, because we had a little snafu like this earlier on in the quarterfinals, and usually when you get a reset like this, when you have a team that found a build that works very effectively for them and they were able to shut you down, that team that was losing, this is kind of like a do-over, right? You get that moment to try and counter the build of your opponent and answer back. So we'll see if that's the case, but usually when something like this happens, it is going to be a benefit for the team that is down, the team in this case, EDJ, and that's gotta be a little nerve-wracking, right? That was 8 unanswered kills. What are you gonna do to be able to solve that problem?
There's a lot to unpack here, and I think Triple J will be able to pick the map again, and I would be 100% sure that they're gonna go towards. You guys gonna pick the map? Deathmatch?
Yeah.
Safe to say, book it. That was pretty convincing, but you know, when you get a second chance, you know, the pressure's off. We go, we lost. We were gonna lose this. Now we get a shot. Let's take some risks. Let's get out of our comfort zone.
Guardian Chicken was watching over you and said, not today, no.
It's really
We'll run it
incredible.
back one more time, maybe even twice if EDJ can find the magic moment to be able to push this to that game 5. And now let's take a look at that Shepherd body. A medium in terms of average, right? You have about 8,700 health. Those top tank builds have a little over 10,000. So this does toe that line of giving you a decent amount of speed, but also enough tankiness to survive maybe a stray shot that could catch you if you're backing out of a fight. You couple that with using a turret alongside that shield drone, and it should work very effectively for you. Now as we swing over, we see someone using that shark body alongside with the finisher. That is the shark fin on top. It is a medium range ability, but what it does is it will lock onto your opponent, and it's like blood in the water. It'll find you, it'll chase you down, and it'll jaws chomp you to death.
No blood in the water in Spider Tank. We remember those crocodiles we have as well, and Willy the Whale that could always come up depending on the map. You're always going to have a Titan. It makes a lot of sense to have a Titan because that's, again, that's your character you can put out in the front. That's the body you can put there and sort of absorb that pressure to open up things. I would expect that we've seen 2 Titan approaches from both these teams. I would imagine something similar to that. But again, your team EDJ, you were losing that 8-zip. Find a way to catch your team off guard, but Triple J just looked like there's an air of confidence about them. They feel like they know the answers to the questions beforehand. As we'll get back to our critical game 4 to determine who wins the Chicken Challenge Cup. Max and Katie here calling all the action. Hopefully we're glitch free here.
Hopefully. Cross your fingers. We have a trophy to give out to one of these teams, Triple J, just a map closer. This is all they need, and now let's get into it. Let's prepare for these combatants to enter once again a team deathmatch here on Safe Haven. And while Triple J taking some early shots, force it back off, but you always have those little health packs with those respawn timers to get you topped off. They'll be spawned in early, so no worries just yet. But you gotta be careful because yes, you're trading out a lot of damage onto Derek on the side of EDJ, but you're also not really dodging any of the skill shots at the same time, which could potentially cause you a lot of trouble. So what do we see now? On the side of Team EDJ, well, a bit tankier builds, a bit more heft for them, and well, once again, maybe it's a redo of what we saw previously, but Triple J will answer with the first kill on the board as we continue to duke it out here. A little over 2.5 minutes left.
Once again, it is Triple J taking the lead, and now a more aggressive stance I would have to imagine from EDJ is Triple J's keeping their distance. At the top bridge there, you'll see the trio, Patrick, Aaron, and Adam, making sure that they stay compact and powerful. They have the Titan coming up from Team EDJ. They have the Chicken and the Shark.
They do, and the Shark, this is an extremely popular body to use. Even in the Soul Cup, we saw the Shark used in no matter what map it was, almost exclusively. And well, EDJ, doesn't matter what body you're using, they will answer back. But immediately, Triple J will once again take the lead by 1 kill. But as fast as I say that, a tie game at 3 apiece with just shy of 2 minutes left to play. Now, if you're EDJ, get that repair artillery out, get yourselves topped up, and prepare for this next altercation around the mid-map here at Safe Haven. If you're just tuning in now, this is potentially the last map of the final here for the Chicken Challenge Cup on Spider Tanks. Triple J versus EDJ. EDJ fighting for their tournament lives, fighting for the right to raise that trophy here at Galaverse in Las Vegas. And well, things don't get much closer than this. You're all tied up and you're over halfway through the game, Max.
No pressure here, it's 3-3. You pick your spots, but now as you see Team EDJ try to come through the back door, waiting for them is Triple J. Both of them get a kill, so a respawn here in the effect.
Oh, and that's got a sting, but he's able to get it with the range of that artillery so far away. He thought he was safe, but he wasn't able to get out in time. Triple J take just a 1-kill lead, playing a little frantic here. You're gonna wanna calm down. Even if someone is low health, you don't wanna trade those kills. You do not have the buffer yet to effectively be able to make that aggressive play. So slow but steady wins the race. You have 30 seconds left, but now just like that, 6-5, once again, the trade's gotta be careful, it's all tied up. Careful and slow and steady, but it's that artillery, that's range. 40 seconds as we continue to tick down, and that's, well, that is the biggest lead we've seen in some time, but once again, EDJ, you gotta be careful. You can't go in alone or you'll give them a 3-kill lead. It's ticking down to the final moments, Max. There's only 20 seconds left and it's a 4-kill lead. Triple J, they're looking to do it. They reset or no reset. We're closing it out here on Safe Haven.
I feel so bad for Team EDJ. Granted, they got a second chance, but they worked so hard to tie this up, only to see a big flex here from Triple J to open it up with just seconds remaining. 11-7. We are going to have a champion. It is Team Triple J, Patrick, Aaron, and Adam.
Congratulations to Triple J. Despite the hiccup, despite the reset, the moment that could have caused a comeback for EDJ, not the case as Triple J. They had the ice. They knew how they wanted to perform here on Safe Haven. And where it began is where it shall end. Congratulations to Triple J, the first ever Chicken Challenge Cup winners, the first ever winners here for Spider Tanks Esports. And the executioner looks quite pleased, if I have to say so myself.
Man, we've gone through so much here to be at this moment, and we talked about the Chicken Challenge Cup. We had all these teams, and so many people here at Galaverse in Las Vegas were able to play this game, and now there is only one sitting atop. And I get many years from now, we'll have Chicken Challenge Cup number 30 or 40, and we'll all think about this first one. And it couldn't have gone any better. 4 great teams in the semifinals. All 4 were good enough to win it, but in the end, there could be only one. It is Team Triple J, and it's going to be interesting at the Gala offices, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, Patrick. Okay.
Well, congratulations once again to Triple J. But hey, you're not here to just listen to us talk about the fact that you won. Max, I think they're here to also receive some trophies and get crowned victors.
We need the official handshake too, gentlemen. So it's a very sporting arena. So Team Triple J, Team EDJ, if you could meet in the middle. Jason Brink is joining us. Jason, what'd you think of that?
That was pretty good. I mean, you guys probably lost though, because I wasn't on your team.
Ooh, strong.
You know, I'm just saying.
I'm
you
not
guys
saying
saw
kick
my
them while they're down.
you saw my performance in
You were in
Korea,
Seoul.
right? I was.
You were excellent.
Absolutely carried it. You'll remember Aaron, right?
Team Triple J, if you could join us here.
Yeah, if you guys could please take center stage with us, Triple J, the gentleman of the hour.
Jason, if I could give you that so you can present it to the champions at center stage here. EDJ, great efforts. Next year. Next year we'll get it. Finish the job.
All right, and if you can please present the trophy, the first ever.
Yeah!
Give it up for Triple J! Your first winners of the Generative Challenge Cup in a 3-1 victory. Congratulations.
You have pleased the chicken gods. I am proud of you all. Go forth and consume chicken.
It's strange. You play the chicken, then you have chicken for dinner. I don't feel 100% good about it, but it is what it is.
All right, we're going to swing up. We got to talk about this, right? Yeah, guys, oh no, you're not done yet. You might not used to be taking center stage, but this is where we're going to stick for just a little bit. So talk to me about it. Aaron, you did it. You guys are on top. You have the trophy. What does this moment mean to you to be the first ever Spider Tanks esports champions?
Well, I really thank all the J's, Jason, John, and James, who couldn't be on there.
We could have quadruple J next year, you know?
And also, it is my second match because we lost terribly with Jason and James on my team. But, you know, Adam, Patrick, solid members. So,
James practiced for this. He figured this, the WASD. He worked on remembering that.
Very important to playing Spider Tanks.
I also like this team. I was always some great beards here in Galaverse, and it's beautifully illustrated here with the team. Adam, I saw you kind of grew into this tournament and the confidence going through. How quickly did you go from learning the game to being really good?
Basically, you saw it in this semifinals and the matches before. We got wiped in the first round. That was some of my first games playing Spider Tanks. But it's got a pretty good learning curve. Like, you can pick it up. It's intuitive. Plays great. It's very fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Really important. The fun part.
Patrick, you had a blast. I'm going to hand you my microphone. You can wax poetic about this experience because I see you had the eye of the tiger from the beginning. You said, I go, if you win the trophy, you said, when we win the trophy.
I never doubted that we'd be standing on this stage. I knew it from day one with these guys.
The ones of minutes of practice that they put in.
I'm not sure I'm going to have a job after this. I don't know where's Eric, but the trophy was worth it.
It was worth it indeed. Triple J, congratulations. And you said, at the end of the day, this is about fun.
This is about fun. Absolutely.
And I think what we saw here today is how fun Spider Tanks can be and how it's going to continue to grow and become even more fun. So,
exactly.
Do you think everyone here should get their hands on Spider Tanks?
Yeah, absolutely. You should.
Thank you again, everyone, so much for attending. Triple J, congratulations on your first ever Chicken Challenge Cup victory. And now, Max, I do believe you are needed in the
I'm on the move
Galaverse.
again. Yes, it's due. The program, we're far from finished. We have an incredible next chapter. We have to close the chapter here at Spider Tanks, which, you know, it hurts because we've invested a lot of time here, and I'm gonna miss it. I'm just a little worried for Patrick when he goes back in the office and Eric asks him to come upstairs to have a conversation. Congratulations one more time, Team Triple J.
Spider Tanks. It ends, at least for me, with Spider Tanks and Triple J. Once again, congratulations. Galaverse, thank you so much for having me, and we've got a lot more in store, so make sure you stick around.
Thanks, Katie. We are leaving the Spider Tank Arena. I know all of you there at home would love to be here. We'd love to have you. We're going to give you as close a look at the Galaverse as possible, and let me say this beforehand, everything you're about to see will not do you justice. To see this in person is truly remarkable. So we're leaving the Spider Tanks Arena, but there's so much more, and now we are entering Town Star, the Texas Dance Hall. And look, it's a complete juxtaposition. You're in a different world right now. The Head and the Heart are going to be performing here, so I'm going to get a nice place at the bar, as you can see. Let's take a quick peek. I don't know about you, but I'm developing a bit of a thirst, so maybe I'll roll up to the bar, order a delicious sarsaparilla, wait for the band, maybe a little Waylon Jennings, a little Willie Nelson. You feel like you're in Texas. You feel like you're somewhere. There is it's a rolling of the senses certainly here. And again, Head in the Heart, Town Story. We know about the farming games. I believe I read 600 million people play farming games. We know Town Star is the best one. And let's go out and play and build, play to earn, which we're going to be talking about a lot. Town Star Bar. Every honky-tonk's got to have a bar and a stage, so you can have the best of both worlds. As we said, we leave the Spider Tank Arena. We're into Town Star. We're going. And we are entering Miranda's Alley, and this pathway is going to connect the time between the role-playing games. We'll get to Miranda's in a moment, but come with me because we know the granddaddy of all role-playing games is Dungeons & Dragons. I'm a little bit older than most of you out there, but I certainly remember rolling the 12-sided die, playing the game, maybe in the middle of school with your friends. Someone had to be the dungeon master. And as we go down Miranda's Alley, we are going to enter the Dungeons & Dragons activation. You'll feel it. You'll feel the change as we go. It's just a few steps, but it really feels like you're going miles and miles across time and place. Here we are. Look at this. I gotta also add, the smells in here are something else. You are smelling the worlds. It's not just to see and to feel. You get all senses accounted for. The hay here, we gotta get the horses certainly well fed because I'm going into character now. We gotta get ready. We're in the Dungeons & Dragons, and hold on, let's take a stop here. We talk about the sounds. It's a little eerie, and I'm here by myself. Of course, I have my trusty cameraman as well, so I have company, but when push comes to shove, this is Dungeons & Dragons, which means there's probably a dragon not too far. We continue down Miranda's Alley. I can't believe it. It's got there we go. That should come in handy, but I'm a pacifist at heart. We'll leave that there for the dwarf or whomever will wield an axe. Okay, we continue here in Miranda's Alley. Hear that? The deep forest. I need to get out of here for a little bit. And we're going to show you the Dungeons & Dragons room. And here we are. The fine knights all represented. I don't know, is it Lancelot, Galahad? I don't know about my knight's history, but this is a little different world. Here we are. I was hoping to have the king greet us, but unfortunately he's not here. But let's go take a look at his throne. You don't think he'd mind if I sat in his chair? I mean, no one's around? Ooh, That's actually right. That's quite comfortable, actually. Oh, wait a minute. Take my apologies. Yeah, that's the dragon breathing some fire. Look at the wings on this thing. So my apologies to the king, but I wanted to show you what it's like to be here inside the Dungeons & Dragons room. It has, as we say, all the bells and whistles. We'll continue down Miranda's alley. Follow me. I'm a little worried because now we're going into the deep, deep forest. As we talked about the transition from Dungeons & Dragons and Mirandas, we're all excited about the unveiling of Mirandas. And the NFTs are a big part of it, and the exemplars. And what is your role in this world? You've got high stakes here. Again, I know Michael McCarthy, we talked to him about the senses. You're in the forest. I'm by myself here. I'm getting a little scared. I look for a light in the not too far distance, perhaps. And there it is, the tavern. Would normally put your guard down, feel that warmth about being in a familiar place, but this isn't a familiar tavern. You know that feeling when you go into a place like this and everyone's eyes lift up and go, who is this stranger? Well, that's the sensation we're about to feel. Still relieved to be out of the deep forest. Here we are. Gentlemen, hello, good to see you. You can smell the bread. Maybe get a little mead here. Very uneasy feeling. I know there's some eyeballs on me as we roam around this lovely place. Truly remarkable. Oh, here we go. Music will always seem to close the gap here in this new world. Anyone had any requests? Let's go. Freebird? I can't play that. It's lovely though, look at that. That's somebody's, I'm sure they're not happy I'm touching it. Let's set by the fire. That's always a good place to be. On a cold night. Well, there you go. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many worlds here. All the people that made this possible, truly remarkable. I don't want to leave. I feel comfortable now. I'm going to get my mead. I'm going to take a little load off. I'm going to get back to the Galaverse. As you all know, it's all about the blockchain here. We're about empowering the gamers so that they can have a stake in these worlds. And Gala takes that very seriously. 888 is an art collector in the digital space, and for their artists, creating a platform where they can create some equity in this ecosystem as well. So it seemed like a great partnership. Gala Games, 888, together in the inner circle. I will see you back in the Galaverse. Welcome back at our studio. They had a huge pop yesterday when they rolled that video that said you're all part of that inner circle. We're joined now by Jason Brink, president of Blockchain. We'll be joined here by Sarah Stevenson, who's the head of strategy of 888 as well. I know that's very special for you because it's about empowering the artists.
Yes.
Sometimes we forget about the art that's out there and connecting the dots with the consumers, the gamers that are now closer. So why is this such an important project for you?
Well, for me, working with 888 and empowering artists and empowering gamers, I mean, for me, stepping back and looking at this in a philosophical sense, I see games themselves as a manifestation of art. And so for me, bringing games and art together in this way makes perfect sense. And 888 is the embodiment of empowering the artist and giving back to that community. And one of the things that sets Gala apart from pretty much, well, really honestly, anything I've ever seen is the community. And 888 is also all about the community. And so we felt a very good philosophical affinity there.
What was it like before, where these artists are creating what we can now call NFTs inside this blockchain, inside these gaming worlds? What was it like before? What kind of representation did they have? What could they do to get their work out into the public?
Prior to, excuse me, my voice is kind of trashed after 3 days of this. I don't got much left. So for both game development and for artists, it's always been very much this sort of walled garden, right? If you were an artist, unless you had a gallery, you were selling paintings in a shopping mall somewhere. With game development, you were often platform locked and tied to, a couple very, very small, very, very high cost platforms that you had to get, had to work through. Both of us are about basically unlocking that creative potential and releasing it out into the world in a positive way.
And what do you see from the gamers? Because when you're in this world, and you probably don't think about collecting art, but now this is probably something very new to them, which they can now participate in.
Man, you're hurting me right now, okay? Because so let me tell you a little story. Back in March, we had what we called GalaCon. It was the very first little digital event, and we had NFT Punk, Irrelevant, who's sitting in the audience right there next to the amazing Bucks.
James, by the way.
Seriously, massive round of applause. And he gave this presentation, and I apologize for this, but he says, "Oh, we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to show you these punks, and they're provably random, and all of these things. And if you're interested, maybe you would like to buy one." And the floor was not that high at that point in time. And he talked about apes and all of these things. And I looked at it, and I'm like, man, this is just I don't get it. I don't understand. And he's like, well, this is not investment advice, but these are very interesting. He sounds exactly like when he gets stressed, he does this a lot. But
top of the morning.
Yeah, very much. And so I did not buy a punk, and I did not buy any apes when I could have. So
that's why
you struck a chord there, man.
My apologies.
And I should have listened to him, but I didn't.
He'll always listen to you from now on, James, for sure.
Always.
Was that impression accurate?
It's
pretty good.
Exactly.
We have Sarah. Sarah, can you join us as well? Sarah Stevenson, head of strategy 888. Let's hear it for Sarah.
Sarah,
how's it going?
Welcome.
Great
Wonderful
to have you.
to be here. How are you today?
I'm doing absolutely great. Last night in the Galaverse, I rapped on stage with Steve Aoki, so I'm pretty sure I peaked.
That's a bucket list thing right there.
I don't even know why you bothered showing up today.
I know. I think our announcements are cool as well, but that was definitely a peak moment.
No, yeah.
So thank you.
Snoop walked by me.
Wow.
A little whiff?
Yes. I did not know. That would have been very weird.
We do encourage questions from the audience, by the way, if you want. Sarah, why does this make sense for 888 to be with Gala?
Sure. I mean, should I give a little bit of the background?
Go for it.
The Inner Circle. Okay. So 888 Inner Circle is a global tokenized membership club. And it was originally started by an anonymous NFT collector who goes by the name 888. And 888 really saw a need for more artist-centric platforms and communities. So he built something called 888 The New World. That's an NFT marketplace that also has a partnership with Gala Games. And then there's 888 Inner Circle. 888 Inner Circle started when 8,888 editions, because we just love our 8s around here, were sold. And the holders of that original Genesis NFT are what is known as the Inner Circle. So we have one of the most amazing on-chain communities. Our holders get prolific drops from artists and amazing projects and early whitelist access to incredible community-driven projects. And we have blue chip NFT artists coming in like Steve Aoki and Cool Cats that we're so excited for. So 88 Inner Circle has already been its own thing. And based off of community feedback, months of it, we're excited to announce that we're actually going to be expanding the Inner Circle.
We're breaking more news.
Breaking the news. So what does this mean? Sorry. You're supposed to do the interview.
This is a conversation. This is not an interview, so everyone can jump in freely to discuss.
Tell me what this
Jason,
means.
What does it mean?
The stage is yours.
So what this means is we already have our Inner Circle Genesis token holders, and they're not going away. They're actually going to have a higher tiered level of membership now with even more benefits and utility. And there's going to be 80,000 additional memberships now going into circulation. So that just creates such a more accessible point for people to enter the NFT space, especially with all the growth it's been having. And we really see this as a way that to become a global brand and to really have global partnerships and to show what Web3 is really capable of doing, we need to expand beyond 8,888 memberships.
We talk about these curated drops. Do we have an idea what it's going to look like for the gamers when this relationship starts to churn and when they can say, okay, where can I see this art? How can I purchase this art?
Yeah, I mean, we have one that we're announcing in a little bit.
We do.
That's incredibly exciting.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
And it's created by a genius. I don't know if I should touch on that at all.
If you'd like to touch on it, I know that we were supposed to have a video and that somehow didn't happen.
Right.
But we can talk about it.
Okay. I think he's going to come on in a little bit, but we do have a drop of 3,333 editions that are going to be sold on the Gala platform in reverse auction at 11.11 ETH.
Yes.
And as an additional benefit to our Inner Genesis holders, they're going to be able to burn 3 of their Genesis tokens to also access the piece. And this is created by a personal hero of mine, and he's a genius, and it's just next level amazing.
And on the blockchain, how does it look? I mean, when we look at when this art is available, how would it look through the Gala perspective?
Well, goodness, there's so much to talk about here, but I kind of can't until we get to the next part.
Okay, we'll hold that as a secret for now.
Yeah.
We'll hold the next part. We're going to take some questions also from the Discord audience. We're going to go ahead and do that. Well, here it is. We'll take this one here, and we'll get back to our conversation. But this coming in, what game is today's NFT going to be used for? Can we use it in game?
So by today's NFT, I assume they mean the drop.
Yeah.
So that is, think of it more of a membership pass to a special group, okay? That will, in the future, there's all sorts of different things that can be done with this. This can be used to grant access, sort of like a whitelist access, early access for certain game purchases, partnerships, things like that. It can be used for a wide variety of things. It probably isn't going to be something that is stuck in a game, not directly.
Let's talk about the Guardians as well.
You should talk about the Guardians. Let's talk about the Guardians. We'll get to you, Willow.
We'll get to you, Willow. We haven't forgotten about you. So just to explain a little bit about the distribution and how it's going to work, the 80,000 tokens are going to be distributed via what we're calling realms. So there are going to be 8 realms that are going to have 10,000 tokens each. So Gala Games is a guardian of one of those realms. And each
We're the first realm announced,
first
correct?
realm announced. Yeah, and
Yes.
we're going to announce. Thank you. Yeah. We're going to have 7 more announced over the coming days, and these are all high-profile, prolific people in the space, communities, personalities that have been in Web3 and building for quite some time. So what's amazing is each Guardian's going to have their own sub-community within the inner circle, where they're going to provide benefits to Genesis token holders as well as their realm, and then they can also come together and combine all the Guardians of the realm and build things that we've never seen before in Web3.
What are the artists you like? I mean, we're going to start learning about these NFT artists the same way we go see a gallery, or we go see in a public space, or go, yeah, I like his work. Who are the NFT creators that you guys are really fond of right now?
I'll let you take that.
I'm a huge Blau believer. I actually just met Justin for the first time last night. I just think
Was that fun, by the way, everybody? Did you enjoy? Did you enjoy having Blau show up?
one of the best nights of your life. I think what Blau is doing when it comes to music NFTs, he really sees the big picture and is providing long-term utility for his holders. So I'm really excited to see what he does next.
Yeah.
Music NFTs, if you could describe a little bit what the music NFTs, because I'm thinking visual art, but it goes well beyond that.
Oh yeah, he's figuring out like fractionalization so that when people purchase NFTs, you become a part owner of that song. So he has something called Royal where he's doing that. And yeah, I just think that's the very beginning of what's possible, and he's kind of pioneering the charge.
This is so freaking cool.
That's the beauty of this space, is that you're limited only by your creativity. And fortunately at Gala Games, we have unlimited creativity.
Limitless.
So
let's go back to Discord. We'll go to Willow Martin. Will high-end bosses in mirandas? We'll talk more about mirandas here ahead on our program. Drop weapons, or can you earn them during gameplay?
So one of the things that, and I'm going to put a caveat here and essentially say that anything that I say about mirandas could be completely, totally wrong.
And we'll talk to Michael McCarthy a little bit later as well.
I am not Michael McCarthy, but it is my understanding that all weapons that exist in the world of mirandas are essentially player created. So if you are fighting a boss that has happened to acquire a weapon that was not yet on chain, then they could potentially drop that. But other than that, they would likely be dropping other things such as Materium, which you have heard about.
Oh, very interesting. Another quick, before we go back to the Discord, another follow-up, because we mentioned Snoop here, and there's interest in the entertainment fields about this. What have you been hearing from folks who want to get in there, that have seen this as another outlet to be more creative, to show what they can do in a new space?
As a music artist?
Yeah, music or theatrical, any of those kind of things.
Well, you really have to think about the long-term vision, how you can really truly provide utility to a community. It's not just about putting out one cool piece of art and forgetting about it. Because it's on chain, you have to continually up that value for people, and that's just going to create more wealth for everybody, the artist and the holders included.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it really boils down to community. You know, I mean, you can have an artist who creates beautiful art and they hide it away in a closet somewhere and nobody ever sees it. It doesn't matter, really, at that point in time. What we're finding here is that you have people that create these amazing communities of passionate supporters that all work together to achieve, you know, the greatest good within the context of the art, you know, area in which they're functioning, and I think that that's really cool.
It is, without question. We're going to go back here to Discord and Azuri Kuzier. I give it.
Well, so I want to go back to Burninator's question.
Yes, okay, because that popped up.
He says, how is the Gala team still functional after 48 hours? Dude, it's been way longer than 48 hours.
How long have you been in Las Vegas?
I've been in Las Vegas for about a week.
That is
a bit. It's too long to be in Las Vegas.
That's dangerous territory.
Yeah. But I've been working almost the entire time. But the key here is that I have done nothing.
Not true, right?
The person who has done so, like, all of this goes straight to Bucks and to James, okay, and to the entire amazing crew here that set this entire event up, and to the community. I just have to show up and take selfies with everyone.
That's a good gig.
It's okay. It's not bad.
Good.
It's not bad.
And Bucks is putting it out at a regular level and still dancing up a storm, mind you.
Oh, I don't even know how.
Front
she's doing
row
that.
center, and I was like,
like her and James have been up until like 4 a.m. every day. James walking around doing the hat thing, and they get into these little spats. It's adorable, and yeah, they've just been nonstop productive demons for weeks. It's insane.
What is that? I mean, the Gala team, the arrival, just a background about the execution of this. I mean, your expectations and then the execution of all of it.
Well, I think that what we wanted to do with this event is we wanted to show the world, and this is everything that we do, and this includes our partnership with 888 and the Blue Realm and all of that, is we wanted to show the world what this can be. Blockchain gaming has not been fun for a long time, and we believe that it should be.
Fun first.
Fun first.
And it all builds off of that.
Exactly. And we believe that events shouldn't just be, some very, very depressed person with a PowerPoint in some weird neon flickery room where
I've been in a couple of those.
Everyone's yellow weirdly, and it's like, bad coffee and terrines in the back. It's unacceptable. We don't want that. We wanted to have something better. And so what Sarah did is she built these worlds, and it's been incredible.
Have you been in any of those PowerPoints there?
I've been in way too many PowerPoints, but I definitely don't want to leave the Galaverse.
Yeah.
I'm down to stay here.
Well, we like it. We like you. So
right?
you're welcome to stay.
Thank you.
And this is, Sarah, this is the way to move forward, because I've seen this work, and you engage the community, you engage the folks that are out there playing, and there's a comfort level now. And I mean, this is the way we're going to effectively do business moving forward.
100%.
Yeah, can you imagine going to a normal conference after this?
Nope.
Wendy, and just a little shout out to Crypto Wendio on Twitter. She posted something. She's like, "Can you imagine thinking that you can compete with this?" like really? I'm super happy to be here.
Oh, as I think everyone is, right? This is what a fantastic event. I love our studio. I love our crowd. There's a question back on Discord from Jazzmataz. I feel like I have to do it almost like in a Darth Vader voice. Is Gala going to be the one to rule them all? That was a bit heavy-handed, but is Gala going to be the one to rule them all?
If my voice wasn't so messed up, I'd do my Golem impersonation.
A little bit. Give us a little bit. Give it a little bit. Who wants to hear the Golem?
Stupid orbises. That takes my ring. I want the Blue Realm.
Let's get Jason some hot tea. We're going to hear that again later.
That was really rough. Oh my God. That broke. One of them broke. I felt it.
Finally,
Sarah, any impressions for us that you could...
I can't stop that.
Come on, you can do it.
I literally do not have one. I'm not even going to try.
I can lend you my hat. You can pretend to be James.
Do you ever imagine what this looks like in 5 years, 10 years?
So what I see the world fundamentally changing. I see the world changing for artists, working with individuals like 888 and the entire, realm structure there. I see everything in gaming changing. Okay, because what we're experiencing right now is an absolute fundamental tectonic shift. Because every single person who came to this event walked out with their minds completely blown. Nobody.
Add me on that list, by the way.
I know, right?
Sarah's
people, and even the people who are putting on this event. Okay, these are professionals who have put on major shows all over the world, and they have said that this is the coolest thing that they have ever done. And that matters, okay? Because what we want to do is we want to show developers, we want to show artists, we want to show the community that we are here to serve them. Okay, everyone at Gala Games, everyone in every connected entity and organization that we work with has the mindset of service and community first. How do we improve life? How do we make things better? How do we take the status quo that has existed for literally decades, okay, and tear it apart down to its foundation stones and say gaming is supposed to be fun. Art is supposed to be liberating. And how do we build, how do we build the future upon that foundation? Get rid of all of the other excess, all of the terrible stuff that has been built up, and build something new and better. And that's what we're doing. So in 5 years, in 10 years, you are going to see us doing this. We are not going to back down. We are not going to quit. We are not going to surrender.
Sounds so liberating. It was fantastic. Sarah's got, I got nothing. No Gollum impression, but that was as we've had a couple mic drops, James. Everyone's dropping their mic figuratively here. Jason Brink, Sarah Stevenson, we'll speak to you a little bit later. Jason, Sarah, best of luck. Great chatting with you. And all the folks there on the live stream, I know you can get a little taste of the Galaverse. I know it's popping right through the camera lens there, but this has been an incredible event, and I hope you can get a taste of what happened here in Las Vegas. We talked about James Alden, and we talked about the artist. James, after last night's mind-blowing DJ set from BT, let's go over to James, who is talking to him in a space station.
We're here with BT in Echoes of Empire, the Galaverse, and we've got some exciting news we want to share. BT, what do you reckon? Should we tell them what we're up to?
Yeah, well, I'd love to, absolutely. So I have been working on a project that is extremely special over the last about 8 months, and it is the first ever sound art project. So they are generative NFTs that are both visually and audio generative. So what does that mean? So we've made 3D pieces of art that are animated and interactive, that have beautiful changing topography, different sorts of objects, different kinds of environments, and each one of those has a generative, bespoke, handmade musical score that changes for all eternity. So
Amazing.
It will never ever loop. It's actually live synthesis streamed from the blockchain. These are going to be NFTs that are going to be a part of the entire Gala ecosystem and provide some pretty sick utility in addition to having your own handmade score in a game.
So this is the first time you've got automatically generating, all completely running, generating NFTs. It's mind-blowing, man. Absolutely mind-blowing.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, as people watching this will know, there have been some wonderful generative projects for art. Not a lot of fine art, but really cool kind of the PFP type of projects. We're starting to see more things that are kind of evocative, sort of fine art that are generative, but not really any for music. The generative process for music is so hard and tough to crack that people have built some generative things and then rendered them out as an MP4, and it's like, okay, here's this static fixed loop that had a generative process. And for me, the bar was to create something that had actually living live synthesis, and each one of these pieces has its own key, mode, instruments, effects, head-related transfer functions, low-pass filters, reverbs, running, and they will never loop. Like, they will change over time forever.
Absolutely mad.
Yeah, they're crazy. They're crazy.
And there's no one else in the business that should have done this, right, man? I mean, you invented
Thank you for that.
Right?
Thank you.
Come on, talk to these guys about some of your background, what you've done, how you got here, man.
Sure. So, I mean, I guess what is unusual about me in some sense is that people will think of me as kind of a founder in the electronic music scene. Or a film composer, but actually at the heart of what I do is developing new technologies. I've been making music software for the better part of 20 years, so this really is the first time where this intersection of development and music and art kind of meet in a meaningful way. So I'm so excited to share this with the whole Gala ecosystem. I think that having an NFT like this in a game where it's providing completely unique music and a beautiful piece of art is is something. I mean, it's certainly unprecedented, and I think that being a gamer myself, like I want one of these, so I think people are going to be really stoked.
We're able to put some of these NFTs actually into our games as well. So like it's
exactly.
just like, what on earth? Why are we in a spaceship? This is why we're in a spaceship.
That's right. That's right. I mean, well, I think it's part of why it's really beautiful symbiosis is you guys are innovating at this incredibly rapid pace. You know, we're innovating in the blockchain music and art space, and so it really is a very nice symbiosis. So
thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure, man.
Love having you, Galaverse. Love having you part of this. Max, back to you in the studio.
Man, that was a great interview. I walked into the BT performance, and these boards behind you had this, I don't know, it was the Mojave Desert. It was mind-blowing. Then obviously the music. And music's going to be a big part of the blockchain and this gaming space, and we'll talk about that a little bit ahead here on our program. Speaking of music, Maroon 5 was on this very stage, and I was standing right there, and I saw Adam Levine come out, and he looked up, and he said, I haven't performed indoors in a long time, and he goes, but I could kind of get used to this, and to see that reaction as they came in the Galaverse just added an incredible new layer, or another layer, to the weekend that we had. Maroon 5, take a listen. Oh, sorry, I was having a little conversation with our next guest here. Chris Shooter of Certain Affinity joining us here. We have some big news that we're going to talk about here, Director of Engineering there, and we've already seen now Chicken Challenge Cup champion, Adam Price. Your crowning achievement in your career?
Definitely, 100%.
The Chief Technical Officer of Gala, which sometimes people say makes you the smartest man in the space because the tech obviously is important. And we're going to talk about the game, and we'll talk. I want to talk about a lot of stuff. And as a technological officer, as a tech officer, NFTs being integrated in the blockchain, how do you see that being executed? How do you see that moving into this new era of gaming, specifically with Gala?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've talked about it a couple of times as this conference, or as Galaverse has proceeded, right? It's all about ownership. It's all about being able to put money, not invest like traditional investment, but with typical gaming models, you don't really keep what you spend money on. You don't have anything to show for it.
That's frustrating. It's like you turn off the game, and you're like, now what?
Exactly, absolutely. So I'm just fascinated with the idea that you can earn something that you really keep, that you can interoperate with multiple platforms. I warned you we were nerds, and I'd say nerdy words, but interoperability is a big aspect of blockchain, right? It's the fact that it's on a public ledger that anyone can access with standard mechanisms and interoperate, right? Other games could implement our NFTs. It's totally possible. It's all public.
I'm going to incorporate that into a sentence, and I'm going to think of you when I do it, Adam. All right. It's going to be great. And Chris, we had a big announcement. We'll talk about this latest first-person shooter game, Last Expedition. And with Certain Affinity, collaborating with Gala. Why does that excite you? Why did that make sense?
Well, we've had this passion project for the last couple of years. At Certain Affinity, we're a 15-year company. We're a co-dev partner for some of the biggest games you've played. And every time you make these games, you have like a little thing that you thought was really cool, or gosh, it would be really nice if I could put this in the game or do this, but you can't because it's a co-dev. You have someone else telling you the kind of game. So we kept these ideas and we turned it into this game called Last Expedition, a first-person shooter. It's got some crafting. The build they played here was a PvE one.
They played yesterday? Was that,
That's right.
How'd that go?
Well, we foolishly thought we had made a challenge that maybe no one could do. And after the 5th team did it.
Very talented audience.
We realized that maybe our bar, I'll be honest with you, I have not retrieved the core. And these guys just, we'll have to turn up the little competitiveness, how hard it is for the next one.
It's kind of a meme in the gaming world that the people who build the games are the best at them, but it's really not true.
Not true at all.
We spend our time making it, right?
Now my kid, he's good.
He's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I did Dietmar did the spider tanks, and he got blasted out there. Go, hey, what happened? He goes, I'm the developer, man. You leave it to the guys who can get that level up a bit.
But we do put in our little cheats.
Okay, good.
You know, and
that's very satisfying.
I didn't show anyone, but if you press the key code, the K key, it's an auto kill. But no one stumbled onto that one during the playtest, thankfully.
Well, now they will.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it out.
He giveth and he taketh away.
Yes.
We've seen role-playing games, and we've talked about mirandas and how the NFTs are going to be within that game, and certainly with esports, with Shark Tanks. The first-person shooter, Chris, how do you see that being executed or being incorporated into the game?
Oh my God, sky's the limit with this one. I mean, you've seen Overwatch stuff, things like that. I mean, first of all, it's really hard to make these games because when you're in a multiplayer or first person, the mistakes you make are just times 10. If it's not fun, if something doesn't feel right, something's overpowered, it takes a lot of balance. When you see an experience in which you come away with that adrenaline rush and you feel satisfied, and obviously you want to do it again, that's when we've done our jobs, you know? My voice is cracking, but
You're not the first person to say that. I don't know how mine hasn't cracked because I've been screaming in that Shark Tank arena. Spider Tank arena. I'm going to get myself in trouble here. The Spider Tank arena, and I don't know, maybe a little mix. Always hit breakfast. That helps.
Yeah.
Adam, a similar question with regards to the NFTs in this type of game. From the tech side, how do you see that coming about?
Yeah, I mean, it's really wide open-ended, right? We can do NFTs for any in-game items that could possibly work. You could have weapons, you could have vehicles, you could have power-ups, you could have consumables. You know, one of the things that we're really excited about, obviously, is the Gala Chain blockchain project we're working on, which sky will be the limit with transaction throughput, with upgradable NFTs, with custom code on-chain. Using the Ethereum blockchain is very limiting these days, as I'm sure many of our attendees know.
Hey, what's the fee today for a transfer?
A lot. a lot.
Why does this game make sense? Why does Last Expedition make sense for Gala?
I think it's mostly, you know, I'm a big PvE fan. You know, I love the game. I saw it in person just a few months ago. I was mesmerized by the playtest yesterday, just kind of peeking over people's shoulders. I almost tried to play it myself, but I didn't get in there. But that genre, I think, it really lends itself to customization, to you know, upgrading or configuring your different items you're using, your loadouts, right? All of that is a very clear use case for blockchain and tokens, for NFTs.
You could say you guys are nerds, but I'm understanding this. You explain it very well.
We'll level it up a little bit.
Okay, no, just all right. For the common man. at certain affinity, Gala's looked out to bring in these great developers and engineers to help out there. So what was that conversation like? When you guys have obviously had your reputation precedes you with what you've been able to do in this space. What was it like? Why Gala was a good fit?
Well, I got to tell the story.
We're here for this is storytelling mode.
Yeah. Well, that's my favorite. So these guys flew in the middle of COVID, and we meet on a rooftop and just eat like crazy amounts of food. And we just didn't leave, and we just kept riffing off these ideas. And we didn't realize how much we had in common until, we met these guys. And I'm so glad they came to visit us. Because in the middle of COVID, it was like the first time I had been out of the house in like 9 months. And it was these guys. So maybe it was like a serendipity type of thing.
I've asked a lot of people about COVID, and we're staying home. We're staying home a lot more. And I don't think that's going to change a lot. And this is a means to be able to make the most out of being at home, staying in a comfortable position. We all want to get out and we want to explore, but this is something where it's not time wasted. You can go out there and play to earn, do these kind of things that can make that time well worthwhile.
Well, and it's such a social thing with multiplayer games especially, right? Like with Last Expedition, it used to be, your parents would yell at you for spending too much time playing video games, but nowadays it's a huge social outlet, right? You spend all evening playing with 3 of your friends, right? Especially with something like Last Expedition, and you come away with, a social fulfillment, and you come away with, not having wasted time like you're used to being told, but really having grown from it almost.
There's going to be a lot of parents apologizing to their kids, I predict.
Sure. Wait, my kid's just exactly one of these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, his best friends are the ones he met playing FPSs.
And you
he
encourage
thinks he's
it
going to
now,
get
right?
an esports scholarship to go to college. This is what
Let
the
him
future's
dream, let
gonna
him
be.
dream.
Yeah, but the point is, I mean, it feels like the internet did 20 years ago. We're at the beginning of something here. And who knows what it's going to be like, but it really feels exciting.
It is. When I was talking to Jason Brink about that, what's it going to look like, and it's hard to visualize, but the future is going to be very bright. We have some questions here we want to bring in from Discord. I'll let you guys at it. This is from Watcher. Any other big events in mind?
Galaverse 2, Galaverse 3,
Galaverse.
Galaverse 4, 5.
The trilogy.
Am I invited?
Absolutely.
Anything from the studio here with regards to Last Expedition? Where do you see that going from there?
Well, I got a great idea. When I came out here for the presentation, I had a joke that I thought would fall flat. But we're going to the moon, and now I've got to figure out how to put that in our game. So we're going to have some kind of I got to convince the designers, but that's just for Last Expedition alone. We've got all these plans on.
Just like those cheat codes, just get it in there.
Yeah, they won't hit up. Yeah,
ask for forgiveness, then beg for permission.
Yeah.
Erasa Osin, Blue 888 Inner Circle Guardianship entails what activities for Gala players? That may have been a question. I don't know if you guys can touch on that there, Adam.
Don't have answers on that one.
Don't have answers on that one.
Not me.
Do you guys have a favorite moment? Obviously, I know you winning the trophy, certainly, but another favorite moment here in the last few days?
Oh, the Tavern. I mean, did you guys hang out the Tavern?
Yeah. Tavern was great. The smells.
It was like the wood smell, the free beer,
the sword fight, the innkeeper.
The free beer.
Was, I gotta say, like, if you ever do a tour that you take a couple turns and all of a sudden someone hands you a mug, sign me up.
Yeah.
Another question, this from Steven SWA. When will Spider Tank coins be released?
These might be other questions.
These are other questions. We will bank them and come up here with some other ones, but we will talk about that.
Can I say my favorite moment of Galaverse?
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
I cried, honestly. Watching that opening ceremony, seeing the stage, seeing the opening presentation,
it was very powerful.
I almost didn't make it. We're in the engineering rooms, making sure everything's running well. But I managed to sneak over to the side there and watch that, and it was a very emotional moment for me. I've been here since like the beginning, so.
You're gonna get me You're getting me emotional now. We just met. Chris Shooter, Adam Price, thanks for joining us. We look forward to Galaverse 2, 3, and 4. And again, there's so many things about what we're talking about where it's the sky is the limit. And Kings of Leon performed here. And I remember they had an NFT when it was very early, about 6-7 months ago, about an NFT they were creating. So it goes to show how the bands are also getting involved. And in addition to being on the cutting edge of what is new, Kings of Leon can jam out too.
Heck yeah.
I've been roaming around, always looking down at all I see. Painted faces fill the places I can't reach. Come on, I know you know it. You know that I keep somebody. You know that I keep somebody. Someone like you, all you know, how you speak. Countless lovers on the cover of the street. You know that I keep somebody. You know that I keep somebody. Someone like you. I've been roaming around, always looking down at all I see.
That was pretty cool, huh? I get the feeling, Jason, all these musicians are going to remember this fondly because to walk out on this stage and say, look at...
Right? This is a little bit better than a concert hall, I would say.
This is the most intimate, and I go to a lot of concerts.
Would you like an interesting fact?
I love interesting facts.
Okay, so there are more lights hung on this ceiling than have ever been hung on any ceiling in Las Vegas ever.
In Las Vegas? That's amazing, because this is the city of lights. All due respect to Paris, but this is the city of lights.
No, so that's a very serious thing. In terms of production value, there has never been anything done like this, ever.
We're all happy to be able to participate in it. Did I ask you, I talked to you a little bit before our interview about your favorite moment. You said the people. What was that like to be able to have those exchanges with the folks that are obviously prioritize Gala so much that they came here, and for you to have those conversations? I know we're going to talk to Michael McCarthy. I saw him there in the tavern having moments of people, ponying up to so many parts here and having real conversations.
Right. Do you mind if I'm going to preamble a little bit. Eric loves that. When I first started working with Gala, I joined the Discord. There was a couple thousand members. It was in the middle of horrendous COVID lockdown. And everybody was just looking for a place to be, you know what I mean? Looking for a community. And I noticed a gap in what we were doing, and there wasn't enough community engagement. So I started, doing videos and doing AMAs and talking to people. And those of you who come from back in the day remember when I had no beard. It was pre-beard challenge. I looked like Earthworm Jim. It was terrible. Shaved head. So really, really awful. Bad lighting and all of that. And we connected with the community, and that grew over time. And I was employee number 8 at Gala when I joined, okay, or maybe it was James. We go back and forth on that, but I think it was me, just so we're clear. And I was employee number 8, and we just crossed over number 170, and we've gone from being this little blockchain project that was working hard, engineers toiling day and night to make something, into something much, much larger in the community. We have well over 100,000 members in our Discord now. We have massive social media followings and all of that. And but to me, it still feels like those early days, you know, when I sit and would have, you know, 45-minute long conversations with Old Man Smithers about.
I saw him on one. I saw him in Spider Tanks.
You know, about all sorts of different things, or with, you know, Euclid and Oaks, and we would just talk about, you know, what we want this to become. And so for me to meet everybody, to connect with them, was a profoundly humbling experience, because none of this would happen if it wasn't for all of the community. Like, none of it would. There'd be no point in doing any of this if it wasn't for the entire community that is here with us and has been with us through every step of the way, has been with us through, you know, technological difficulties and sales that didn't go the way that we wanted them to, and innovation as we tried new ways to figure things out. And, you know, so for me to be able to meet these people face to face was profoundly meaningful. And to be able to, you know, see people, last night during Snoop's concert, which I don't think we've talked about yet. But,
no, we haven't.
Yeah,
we should.
Yeah, there we go. You know, Snoop is up there playing California Love, and people are coming up to me in the audience to tell me how Gala has changed their lives during a Snoop concert. and it drives home that impact, and that's what's meaningful, because, you know, I'm just a member of the community like anybody else. All of us are just members of this community, of this dream, of this philosophy. And so it's very meaningful to be able to connect with everybody.
And I know, coming off a pandemic, as you point out, to make those connections,
yeah,
I think we take for granted. And
we definitely do.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have more opportunities like this where you can all get together and have this shared space. We're going to get to the Discord questions.
Yes.
Stylo, can you all wait my pizza?
I don't know what that means, but if you want pizza, Stylo, I'm sure we can arrange that.
We can. A lot of options.
We can make that happen.
Everyone was here. Everyone here for the Snoop show? Good? That stood out to you. That stood out for you.
No, I mean,
someone saying, you changed my life, Gala.
No,
and
so
Snoop in the background.
somebody came up to me and they told me they had paid off their house because of Gala during a Snoop show.
Wow.
Okay, and that's huge, because it's a Snoop show. I mean, come on. So that's just very profoundly meaningful to me, and it just goes to show, goes to show how much can be done when you have a good group of people all working together to achieve a good result with proper alignments of incentives. And it's going to change the world.
Yeah, and there's more examples, and I think that is going. There's no doubt it's going to expand. And you said the world, and we've seen these examples in Asia, North America, South America. It's fantastic. Another question from Discord.
Yeah.
From Terrestra. We're mistiming some of these questions. Will Last Expedition be playable for the general public in the near future? And you obviously have.
I can't answer that question and give a actual date answer. But what I can tell you is that the game looks, obviously you guys have seen it. And a lot of people sat in the back of the hub and played it yesterday. Yesterday, it all blends together. You've played it. And so, yes, I imagine that in the fairly near future, we'll not put any date on anything, and I could be completely wrong. It should be playable by the general public.
There you go. He has an answer for everything. What about the rollout? We have Town Stars out there. What about the rollout for some of the games that we have seen here in the Galaverse?
Spider Tanks, I believe, is supposed to hit Q1 of next year, which is
tomorrow, basically.
Yeah, basically tomorrow, right? Although it's multiple weeks away, which is like years in blockchain time. So, mirandas, people are going to be jumping in and playing a playable vertical slice here. Which is obviously not a full game at this point, but people are going to really, really enjoy that. I don't know if that's been opened yet, but if it hasn't, it's going to be. Maybe I just ruined everything, and McCarthy's back there yelling.
We'll get McCarthy here. We'll talk to him about it. I'm sure he could.
Yeah, he can
even it all out.
Okay. So there's a lot. Echoes of Empire. We've play tested. We've played a few alphas. Still in development, obviously, but yeah, everything's moving forward.
That Echoes of Empire production was something else, man. You
It's
go
crazy,
in there,
right?
and there was like a full-on space battle going on, and all these different kingdoms all coming in there and having, you're in there kind of just, okay, maybe I should hit the evacuation. This is from Boff. Is there a rough time scale for Gala Chain?
So what I will tell you, Boff, it's awesome, right? It's just I'm just now hitting puberty. This is
Jason, I
amazing.
can listen to you talk all day because it's got a nice tenor to it.
Everyone's always told me that I would one day hit puberty. It's finally happening. This is great. So is there a rough time scale for Gala Chain? What I would tell you is that there's two important facts. One, there's going to be a tremendous amount of news in the first half of next year. So that's one. Two, this is much bigger than you think it is. I'm just going to leave it there.
That's a good place to leave it. You're like, tell me more. You're going to have to wait. 2022 will be here before you know it.
Yes, very soon.
These questions flying in from our friends at Discord. Groove, how does
Groove?
You know Groove?
Of course I know Groove. You know how this works.
How does a new user enter into the Gala Games platform? Is this, he knows this, but he's going to ask you anyway?
I guess he does. So what I would recommend, thank you, Groove, by the way, for serving up amazing softball questions. I would recommend that any new user who would like to join, go to gala.games and click on sign up in the upper right-hand corner. Very, very straightforward.
I encourage some softball questions because you do have the gamers that have been embedded with you guys for a long time, but there's some new gamers out there, I'm sure, tuning in here on the live stream. Maybe not here in our gathered studio here. You guys have played enough.
Can I just do something really quick?
Of course.
Okay, so I just really very quickly want to thank two of our international communities. We have a lot of international communities. Actually, there's so many of them. But two, mostly because I know how to say things in their language. So I would like to say Sawadee Kap to the Thai community and Annyeonghaseyo to our Korean community. You guys are all amazing. I was privileged last night to have a short AMA with the Korean community, some of the ones that traveled all the way from Korea to come and enter the Galaverse with Peter Molyneux last night. And I also have been talking to Shisa, Alice Crypto in Thailand. So yeah, I look forward to engaging more with these communities in the future.
And it's a reminder, I was watching one of your YouTube videos, you were saying it was like 2.5 billion gamers worldwide. Is that inaccurate?
It's about 3 billion.
So it's about 3 billion and growing. So the numbers don't lie. Jason, I am a lot wiser to this world now thanks to you. And you've got so many news, but stick around to 2022. And speaking of the future, more exciting games on the Gala platform coming your way, including Dawn of Fire.
What?
Coming soon. These two gentlemen don't need an introduction, right? Two titans of the industry, Michael McCarthy, lead designer here for Gala, and Peter Molyneux, who's had more #1 hits than Taylor Swift, my friend.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
And this is a discussion that you guys can have. I want to start with you, Michael, really quickly, because I was in the Mirandas activation. I saw you in full attire, having a beverage, talking to the people, and you looked happy as a clam.
I was. I was. And I had more than one beverage at the Tavern, for sure. I'm feeling it right now on stage.
That place was packed. It was
packed. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. We kind of just set the stage, and I think the humbling, wonderful part of it was that everyone had a good time. You know, everyone was just playing games and having beer, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I feel sad now. Like the Tavern.
Because it's over?
You know? Like it's over. Like, where's my new Mirandas? I need to open up a Mirandas Tavern. Just somewhere.
Talk to the folks at Aria. Maybe they'll make a little spot, because that thing was a hit. It was so comfortable and cozy. And Peter, to be here and someone with the history who have seen this gaming industry in every which way, to come through these doors and see this.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it feels like the start of something.
Interesting.
And you know, there's so much energy here. The community is absolutely amazing, and I, quite frankly, am super jealous of you. Well, you got to drink in your tavern that was in your imagination.
I did drink in the Tavern.
That, yeah.
I did drink in the Tavern for sure.
Did you design the Hangover?
It was eat, drink, and be merry in there. I have a few songs as well. The collaborations are obviously a huge part of what Gala's doing. We've seen so many people come in through. So when Peter's here, we'll talk about the game that's coming out here very shortly from you. How do you absorb that information? How is that when you have these moments where you two can talk about the gaming space and the beginning? What's coming next?
I think there's just kind of a massive brainstorm happening between, you know, if Peter and I get a chance to talk, and I love Peter, and I can't believe I'm sitting on the stage with them. Peter Molyneux here. Oh, stop it, Peter. Come on. But I love Peter's company. He's just fantastic, and every time we get a chance to talk, it's kind of a brainstorm session. There's no blueprint in this world right now. It's the Wild West. And there's just still so much more experimentation and thinking to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I feel slightly nervous saying this because I don't want people's sympathy, but being a designer is really tough. You know, some people think, oh, well, you can think of any game you like, and then you just say, let's do a game about this, and the game is done. But no, there's so much deep thought. There's so many times when you're designing a game, you kind of feel, I don't know if you feel this, slightly lonely.
Yeah.
And the reason you feel lonely is because the ideas are all up inside your head, and maybe you only communicated a fraction of those ideas. And then when you end up meeting other designers that you respect, like yourself, I kind of feel like I want to brain dump on you, you know. What would you do about this? What would you do about that? And that's where the sort of friction starts, and from friction you get, you know, great things happening.
Do you get those feelings as well? That's a really interesting observation about maybe the loneliness of the designer when you're in that process of the creation.
I think for me, what hits me the most when I'm making things is I just want them to be perfect.
Exactly.
And you can just drill down and just go forever trying to make it perfect, and it never gets totally there, you know. It's I think Price said something that was really wonderful when he was on stage before. It's that the people that make the games are never the best at playing them.
No.
You know. And even though we know the game inside and out, you're observing it like an artistic piece, like a piece of music where the notes just aren't quite right. So I don't know. It's like a constant state of dissatisfaction a little bit. You just push to make it awesome,
and it's that vision that you're always chasing. That perfect, you know. When I am thinking of an idea, I'm thinking, oh my God, it's going to be amazing. You'll be able to do this, and this will mean this, and this will mean this. And it seems so clear. And then you just chase that dragon, trying to reach that moment of perfection. And for me, I'll be completely honest, because I think it's the right thing to do. The most nerve-wracking, I'd like to ask you this question as well. The most nerve-wracking point of development for me is when you first get to play the game. Or worse still, when the team first gets to play the game. Because everyone's got this, oh yeah, this is going to be great, and you've got so many ideas and it's going to be great. And then the first time they play it, it's always that fractured vision which is not yet polished. What would you say your most difficult part of development was?
I think what you're saying, it's Mirandas is a little different in that we're kind of sharing our entire development with the community.
That's a very good point.
Like every single, quarter, we try to get a new release out to people and just, show them how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
Which I'm Discord bingo.
Boom.
But it's true. It's true. The stuff that you would be appalled to share, that I would be appalled to share normally. We've just kind of said, hey man, here's the process, here's how it all is. So that's healed me a little bit, because there's not that moment where it's held so tightly and then it's released and you're kind of biting your nails.
Yeah, I guess that is so different, isn't it? I mean,
it's different this time. It's never been like that before. I never made a game like this before.
Yeah, and
shared the development with the community.
So what happens if you don't agree with something?
I don't agree with some of the feedback you're getting from the community.
Yeah, so someone says something and you don't agree with it.
Oh, I think there's a lot of trust in the community, and I think by sharing the development with them, where they're seeing the problems, they're not just seeing, like, they're seeing the challenges that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
So it's not a fundamental disagreement that we usually would get from the community. It's more of just that ongoing brainstorm about what would be great, what works, what doesn't.
Should I be doing this, Michael?
I think you should, absolutely.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I think I should.
I think we should tell everyone about your black books.
I think I should start at least tweeting, communicating out on a weekly basis, and I think I should.
Starting it. It's a new day.
But we're all. I think the difference.
This is what always happens. I always end up sort of doing something completely differently.
But just to follow up what Adam said, it's got to be fulfilling when you develop the game and you see people get so good inside those worlds, where they have taken a level that maybe you thought couldn't be reached, but they put that time in and they get there.
Can I be completely honest with you?
Yes.
And this is just turning into a confessional. But I used to have a golden rule, because pretty much all the games that I've made has had some form of multiplayer capabilities to it. And I always used to have a golden rule. If I'm not winning, the game's not finished. That was the goal. That was the absolute golden rule. But of course, that's the worst possible attitude. You've got to embrace the fact that the world's going to be far more expert than you are.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's fantastic. We're going to ask a couple questions here on Discord, and this will be for you, Michael, from Vamproy. Can we build houses in Mirandas along with swords and rings? And one thing that stood out when you were talking yesterday is being able to get into the boats to get into this world, which brings the NFT factor in there. But what about the building of the houses?
Do you have to construct your home? Is that the question?
Yes, or
no. If you
or can you?
If you own a deed, the deeds come with homes. And if you have bought buildings, you are allowed to place that building without any construction costs at all. I think you'll be able to upgrade that building like crazy, but when you purchase, an NFT, you purchase that game item, the expectation is that you can use it. So you don't have to construct any building that you own. You can place that basic structure.
Would you have to buy the beverages at the tavern?
We're hoping in Mirandas that, that we can make a tavern a true meeting place for people in the game. Yeah.
Another Discord question, Matt. This is for you, Peter. How was your game, The Movies, ahead of its time?
Yeah, I worked on a game called The Movies, and the idea of the game is that you could be a Hollywood film director and you could direct your own movies. And we worked on this incredible technology which allowed people who played the game to as they were playing the game, to make a movie. But the game came out about 18 months before YouTube hit. And if YouTube had been around when we released the game, it would have been, I think it would have been huge, because I'm always fascinated with what other people do. And the movies allow people to make full-length movies. In fact, a film student in France used it to make a political statement and won an award just by playing the game. But damn, if a YouTube had been around so people could share the movies they made in the game, that would be incredible.
Timing is really. Osbaboli. I apologize. What's so special about elves in Mirandas, Michael?
Elves are special. I think elves, dwarves, halflings, and orcs are always going to be special because there's just very few of them. So even if we release more avatars in the future, you'll never see like those elves again, those orcs again, those halflings again. And that's kind of born of the experience of, you feel like seeing an elf should be a big deal. In Lord of the Rings or something, you caught an elf in the forest, it was like, oh my God, that was a big deal. So we kind of wanted to create that in the game. I mean, I think it's really cool to think of a group of elves walking into a tavern and everyone looking over like, oh my God, there they are. Like there's a group of them. So there's just very few of them. They're scarce.
There you go. So when the Mirandas does come out to you and you're able to play it, keep this information. You're getting this information ahead of everyone else. And this is a question for Peter. Do you have plans to create more games within the Gala ecosystem? And we do know about the game Legacy. Maybe you could tell them a little bit about that.
I mean, I just get super excited in places like this, and I think what Gala is doing is incredible. It's incredible for the games industry. It's incredible for blockchain gaming, and it's incredible for developers. What they announced yesterday is a step change difference. So, when all those incredible things are happening, am I interested in creating another game for the ecosystem? Absolutely, I'm interested.
Yes.
but there's one problem. I've got to fucking well finish the Legacy first. So let's just focus on that. I want to focus and make Legacy the defining game of blockchain gaming, because that's the sort of ridiculously optimistic person that I am, and a defining game for any of the games that I've created before, and that's going to take a lot of focus and dedication.
You take your time. We're on your clock.
If this was vodka, I would tell you about...
Wait, this isn't vodka.
No, sadly not. Sadly not.
Well, fantastic chat. This was very special, I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, Michael, Peter. We're going to have our grandstand finish. If you could join me at the beginning of the stage as we wrap up our time in the Galaverse. Michael McCarthy, Peter Molyneux. Thanks to everyone here in the hub. Thanks to everyone listening in the live stream. And we heard it already. There will be another Galaverse Europe 2022. We'll see you there.
Getting ready to put on a huge, huge show.
Stay here all day. This has got to be one of the most fun. We've done a lot of these over the years, and this is so much fun, and we really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys.